Hello and welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us on the WRC channel for the Sankei Shimbun Cup individual playoffs, the second half of the 2024 to 2025 season. I'm Chiral and I am joined by Nathanael.
Awesome to be here once again for day 2 of the individual finals. Or at least the semifinals.
I was watching because you broadcast game 2 of 6, right? And yeah, it was pretty exciting.
Yeah, the
game 1 we had a lot of cons, which is something that was fun to see.
Yeah, with the everything that's at stake here, the unique format of the event is getting really, really heated, really exciting. And should be an awesome day 2.
I'm hoping to see some very aggressive play, some very exciting hands. But yeah, our broadcast today is sponsored by the WRC and JPML. We hope you'll check out Sparrow's Nest, a New York Mahjong studio, fully equipped with Slim Score, Ultima, and Rex 3 order tables. WRC is the World Riichi Championship, the most prestigious international Mahjong tournament in the world, held once every 3 years, and next which will be in Tokyo this July. We'll be casting a lot of events, as well as Sankei Shimbun Cup. We've got plenty more of this to go, of course. But if you're enjoying the content, please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all that lovely YouTube stuff to get all of our streams directly to your device. But yeah, let's talk about the Sankei Shimbun Cup. We've been here for a while and we finally reached the final. It is made of 2 leagues. We have the Scepter League in Tokyo and the Orb League in Western Japan. In Tokyo, 64 teams participated, but today we're covering the second half of the individual playoffs. 16 players have already confirmed their spot in the semi-finals, and 5 more slots are available. That's what the players today will be fighting for. The Orb League has 5 groups, it's around Western Japan, and 3 players from that Orb League will win their own spots in the individual semi-finals as well. Well, they will join their Scepter League brethren to determine the Sankei Shimbun Queen of the 2024 to 2025 season. We also had a team from WRC this season. They were made of an entirely international roster. Jenn was our team captain from the UK, while Jenn from the US, Mio from South Korea, and Lika from China were the ones playing. However, Lika is the only one who made it to this individual playoff, and I think we'll be seeing her play in Game 4.
Awesome.
But before we go on to the future, how did things end yesterday?
We had, of course, several players advance straight to the finals. The top 7 on the screen now were the players that placed so well in the team portion, the regular season, that they could skip straight into the final session. However, in the individual battles yesterday, we had 3 players in each of the rounds advance into the final portion as well. And that's what we see now.
Yeah, I definitely remember seeing Sugawara manage to take a huge win in that first Game 1. And yeah, we saw, I think it was Fuji in Game 2, I believe.
And
I hope I'm remembering that correctly.
I also remember watching Nakata play a couple games. I think the game we saw her play, she didn't get the advancement. That was in round 2, game 2. However, she did manage to make it there in the final game of yesterday's action.
I think Seto was a player who was, I think, in first place at the start of the qualifier, but lost game 1. So it's really interesting to see how even if you lose one game, you can keep fighting as long as you don't get kicked out and still get in there in 15th place. That's really cool to see.
Absolutely. And that does mean that if you started sooner, right, you have a few more games to afford a loss and come back. Players who hopped into the series in the later rounds will have less time to make up a loss, so the tension builds in the final rounds of the individual playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. Our very own Lika, I think she was 25th place, so she wasn't able to play round 1, but she did jump in at round 2. I think she won round 2. I think she unfortunately lost round 3, if I remember correctly. So sort of middle of the pack right now. Hopefully we'll be able to see something good happen on that part. But before we get into the actual games, we actually have a video report from one of the players who skipped ahead to the semi-finals in the Magnificent 7. Let's hear from Tomomi Okubo.
皆さんこんにちは。日本プロ麻雀連盟八王子麻雀 KO チームの大久保智美です。 今までこの大会、10年以上出場させていただいたんですけど、あまり結果が残せず、去年一昨年はちょっと惜しくてプレーオフで負けてしまったんですけど、今年はなんとジャンプアップすることができました。今までにないすごいチャンスなんで、今年は優勝できるように頑張りたいです。やっぱりこの大会は10年以上出てることもあって思い入れもすごいあるので、絶対優勝したいなっていう気持ちはすごくあります。なのでやっぱり決勝に向けて麻雀の調整とかもしてしっかり優勝できるように今年は絶対頑張りたいと思います。応援よろしくお願いします。頑張ります。
10 years. But yeah, skipping ahead, don't have to play these finals. This playoff. So congratulations, and maybe this is the year that she manages to get through to the end.
Yeah, I remember watching her play in the regular season. She got to play on several of the broadcast tables, and it was a lot of fun watching her. She jumped up straight into the finals. So best of luck in those final matches.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be seeing more of her later on. But yeah, who's left? I believe we have, 12 players still in the running. 5 of them will make it through.
We do. And a good mix of players who have been there from the beginning and players who've been joining in later in the rounds. Yesterday, we got to see Nexi play a couple times, and she's currently leading the pack at 213.4, followed by Sugano and Sakuragawa. And Lika, right in the middle of the pack, 139.9, will be one of the players that we're watching. You can see that highlighted in green, the players that we will be looking at for our first table.
Yes, good luck, Lika. I hope that we manage to see a person from Team WRC in the finals. But yes, so let's talk about round 4, I suppose, because the way that the event format changes, it changes with every single game. How many slots are available to who progress, whether you get to go through, or whether you get to get kicked out. I believe if the way that round 4 works is that there's actually going to be a battle. Everyone plays one game, and the players with the top 2 overall scores at the end of this game will make it through to the next round. So before, for rounds 1, 2, and 3, the top 3 made it through, but now there's only 2 slots available. If you're in the bottom 2, you're also out. So you have to win. You can't just take a 4th here. I think 4th would be pretty lethal, but you never know.
Yeah, and the net effect is that as 2 players advance, 2 players are eliminated, the pool of players that are left to qualify will end up shrinking. There are no new players being added to the fray here, so it becomes even more intense.
Yeah, I do really like this format, but it is hard to sort of get your head around because it's like, are 2 going through this time, are 3 going through this time? But yes, either way though, 12 will be turned into 8. 2 will make it through this round, and we have 3 more spots available in the other 2 rounds we're seeing today. But yes, I suppose all that's left to do is talk about the players. In the East seat, we have Natsumi Nagishi, representing Team Maika from NPM. In the South seat, we have our very own Lika, representing Team WRC from JPML. In the West seat, we have Aimi Ueno, representing Mahjong Nico from NPM. And finally, in the North seat, we have Mayu Fujikawa, representing Team 3 Arrows from MU, Mahjong Union. I suppose the only thing we can do now is see how it plays out. Good luck, everybody. If you enjoyed the content, like and subscribe to get more wonderful Mahjong commentary from us and our team. And I suppose all I've got to do is cheer Lika on. Sorry, I'm going to be biased towards Team WRC. I'm going to put it out there now. You can see WRC in the top right corner of the screen. My bias is incredibly showing, but that's okay.
One of the last times that we're going to have the room so full of players, slowly the numbers will dwindle down.
That's true. Oh, this is a very good start, the deal, it looks like.
She must be absolutely thrilled. The only thing we're missing is the Dora.
Yes.
Let's see what it is. In just a moment, we'll be able to find out. 6-0, hello, pair of 6-0.
6-0, hello, yes. So, Ueno in the west seats could be very happy there.
Rika pairs up the Haku. Potential fighting hand there.
Yeah, that
Great.
hand needed a lot of upgrades.
2-pin draw.
Yeah, I'm always thinking Itsu. I know it's really early and it's probably not going to be. But I look at that 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and I'm like, what if we drew the 5 and the 9? Time to think about it, at least. We may give up on those dreams very soon, but worth dreaming.
Oh my goodness, there's a third Adora. This hand is shunted already with the potential to play for Tanyo as well. Can open up with Hidden Dora 3. I think there needs to be one shift in order to make that happen, but potentially in the cards.
These names don't line up. If Fujikawa's in the north seat, why is she in the west? The west seat on the overlay. Am I wrong about that? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
I believe Lika's in the north seat.
Okay. In that case, are we just going to run on what's on the overlay, not what's on the...
Oh my
what
goodness,
we said
it's
earlier?
Tenpai.
Oh my, yes. And Dharma too. Why not?
Yeah, hidden 8,000 points.
Yeah.
And that spells doom for whoever finds the deal and tile here. I think she had a really strong hand as the dealer.
Yes, exactly.
And now an
Three does come out when you get that three-sided weight.
258 pin Riichi Tanya Dora 3 Tsumo Haneman.
Oh my. And that's not even considering the ear flip, which is ridiculous.
He
Have
popped
a
Sumo
hand
here
this
with a
good
Nura would be
early.
huge. One pin, that's close.
For the pin.
This is interesting. We saw Fujikawa play a couple times on the streamed table yesterday.
Yes, we're going to be seeing quite a few people, as long as they don't get kicked out, coming back, taking every chance they can get. But yes, 258 is actually looking not as good as it could be. The 6 pin being the reach tile as well does give a few warning signs. We see quite a few 2s and 5s hidden in other players' hands. There's one of the 8s.
You see not many options to fold with, but has played around this fairly well. 6. Oh, there's the Tsumo.
Here it is. So, well, no, that's a 4. That's a 4. Okay.
Not quite
For a
the-
second, I got excited. I was like, did we just flip through a 6? Or a 3? Or a
San
6?
would have been
No.
Baimon, but this time just the Hanuman. Great start for Fujikawa, who really needs these points. Started out as the in the lowest standings out of these 4, but a win makes up for so much here. And
Yes, as long as you survive, you still have a chance. And bottom 2 is what will be leaving this event.
right, strategically speaking, as long as you are not in the bottom 2, you can stand out until the final table where you've got a chance, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And when you need 100 points, you're not going to be making it in one game anyway. So just try and play solid. Stay sort of middle, ideally. If you can get back into the middle somewhere, that'd be really comfortable. And 126.6, that'll do it.
9 Mandora. A little less easy to use than a 6-0. Ueno, the dealer. Fairly strong start here. Fujikawa makes a triple early on. Lika, a number of honor tiles. This looks like it'll be a struggle to put together.
It does. Ooh. Do you consider 7 pairs here?
I do.
You've got three pairs and a door on its own that's really hard to use. It makes me think that, yeah. Try and find a way to use the door rather than having to play it. It's going to be very important there.
Yeah, I think that's one of the main things for me is that Dora. Like you said, I really want to be able to use it, and with shapes that are hard to use, a Dora, the easiest
That's
way
better
might be
before
just to
right
pair it
away.
up. See how long Fujikawa holds the Dora as well. It's kind of sitting alone in her hand, but she is also missing a block.
That's fair, yes. I think it's quite interesting that we see the 6 played early by the player who may end up waiting on the 9. I think it's going to be quite interesting if that does end up being some sort of early Sushi Trap. I know it's Dora, but the fact that the 6 was played really early We'll see. We'll see if it has any effect on players' decision making as time goes on. But yes, please do cheer for Lika. I appreciate you in chat. Thank you.
Dealer's choice of Kanchans to break. It's not particularly useful for a pair's hand. Oh, it came back.
Yeah, definitely one way to try and determine when someone's going for a pairs or triplet-spaced hand is when you see a lot of middle tiles get played really early on. So like that 6 pin, or I think it was a 6-0 actually. When you see tiles like this come out really early, like the 6 of characters, the 6 of bamboo, and you know it's not a flush, then you're thinking, okay, why don't they need 6s? And it suddenly makes tiles around the edges a little bit more dangerous, because if you're going to go for 7 pairs, that's the kind of weight you're going to choose.
Certainly. For that reason, a lot of times players will disguise their 7 pairs by cutting the edge tiles at the start, cutting the honor tiles at the start, making it look fairly normal, at least for the first few turns, and then making the shift later on.
Exactly, yeah. And there's another pair. One away.
This is for Uno. Probably still wants to play this as a normal hand. Yeah, we'll just go away from the 4-pin. And
I guess the upshot for our deal here is potentially that 5-6-7 mixed triple sequence. If we can pull the 7 of characters, turn that 4-5-6 into a 5-6-7, suddenly a very exciting hand appears. Oh, sorry, it's 5-6-7 of pins. My apologies. But yes, we do see a few of the 7 pins gone there already, which is unfortunate.
because found the route to Sanchoku as well, 7-8-9.
Exactly.
It's kind of amazing that the hand has turned into something given the way it looked at the start.
That is the thing. Like, they're all... We are going to see cards. See, this is one of the really exciting things about a final, right? Or a situation which feels very final to a player,
right?
Where they're fighting for survival. You're going to take whatever opportunity you can. Oh, that's an interesting draw. Toy was an option, but no, not taken. Honestly, waiting on 5s for an all triplets hand is a tough ask.
Play for the wider shape. She's still looking for pairs at this point. Chi into Tenpai Tanyao, waiting on the 4-mon.
Yeah, not the greatest weight in the world, but we do see a reach. That was a closed Khan, of course. Reach on 5, waiting on the 8. This is why you don't trust Suji the Riichi tile.
This isn't Sanchoku, but there's a Khan, so I feel like we're going to chase.
Good luck, Lika. Good luck.
6-9 mon can win on the Dora, but I guess she draws the deal and tile will hold it, of course. Pairs a defensive hand. And now Ueno stuck. We'll hold for the 6-mon.
I do think that, yeah, I think we counting 6s and 9s, I think that Lika has the advantage here compared to the 8.
Yeah, I believe all of the 8s are visible.
Yeah.
Paired up in Negishi's hand. One is the door indicator, and one is in Lika's Riichi. So Fujikawa may be drawing dead here. Of course, 6-9 mon, you're not anticipating to be seen so easily. However, Fujikawa with no defense draws a 6.
There's a 6!
Riichi
with the early win.
Riichi only. And no... No Uda.
Reach draw 1. But still. Yeah, the 9-so Dora is something.
Yeah, at least there was one flip from the Khan. It's a shame to miss out on both Uda, though.
Yes, for sure.
You get excited when you see a drag, you're like, maybe this is... No.
I feel like Jenn and I bonded yesterday over Dora for other people. They're not for me.
Because like if only I'd kept the Chun instead of the Haku, I would have had Uda for Mangan. Okay, maybe she's...
You might want to. We can't. You just have to accept that. But still, Fujikawa with a very solid, very standard, but very solid Pinfu hand.
Oh my, I think Lika might be trimming down the suits.
Yes, Lika's hand's kind of like a self-driving car. You can press the escape button, but it's going one way, and it's up to us to decide if we want to let it do that or not. All right, the 5 of pins is played.
A number of pairs in the hand, so I'm curious if she will open. South is her Yakuhai, so open Honitsu plus Yakuhai is 39, but you could do even better than that.
Yes.
Oh, huge draw for Negishi. Now
draw
Ishanten
there.
for Pinfu.
Oh no, the curse of 7 pairs. It's coming back again.
Although I think for Lika, 7 pairs wouldn't be too sad to see. Oh my goodness, it's already Tenpai. Riichi Pinfu, potentially Dora as well if she can pull in the 6-0. And Lika doesn't really have defense if she's going to just push her hand. So we'll see how aggressive she wants to be here.
Yeah, it's one of those races where you really have to try and make something happen because you have a maximum of 3 games.
Well, I think after drawing the Dora, Lika might not be pushing anymore. Or at least not for the flush. She can play for pairs. She can play for the south call into drawing another block around the Dora. So a couple different options here, but you really don't want to drop the Dora against a Riichi. Now, if she draws nothing but excellent Mon tiles, maybe an issue presents itself, but I think 7 pairs might be the best option here.
Yeah, I think it's, but yes, but there is no. I know I say there's pressure, but there's no pressure to force a hand that's not going to win, right? Like there's definitely. Oh wow. Oh no. Wow. Interesting. I guess double Yakai does mean you can just use the Dora instead. Are we going to see this get called? No.
No call. It is Ishanten for Chitoi, so
it's also just 2 safe tiles, which I think is valuable when things are looking pretty rough.
Was that a Dama Tempo? Uh-oh. Pick your weight. She chooses the Dora.
The reach on the Dora. Okay. Good luck, Lika.
Dodging the deal, and who will pull in the 6-0 first? And this is not quite Tenpai, but...
This is a rule set with head bumps. If someone does deal in on that 6, Fujikawa will get the win. Every time.
Rather,
wait, hang on. Right, Fujikawa's not Tenpai yet, but...
Yeah, so if Ueno or Fujikawa drops it, Lika will win by head bump. However, it's very unlikely that either of these players will ever drop a Dora, so 8-mon push?
Yeah, for some reason I just assumed that Fujikawa was Tenpai waiting on the 3-6, but that's not true.
8-mon
away,
push?
Though. Yeah, willing to play it.
Let's not forget that Negishi can also win on the Sanzo.
This could be one of those really interesting situations where 2 or possibly even 3 players are waiting on the same weight.
Which should make sense with the Dora.
Yeah, but that's true, yeah. 2 players on 3-6. Fujikawa and Negishi, and then Lika on the 6 as well. At this point, it's just luck, right? When everyone's waiting on the same tile, we'll see.
2 of the 3-so in hand here. But I think the 6-so are all on the wall. 1 more 3-so is here.
Yeah.
So Lika with decent odds of not dealing in, at least. Tough for Fujikawa here. She is just Ishanten, but will finally back away. Could not try the 7-mon.
From first place, especially in a situation where if you don't get it really good, there's one of the 6s. But from first place, from last place in the event and first place in the current match, I feel like discretion sometimes is a better part of valor, right?
Oh,
but the 6 is drawn.
Negishi gets it. Each Tsumo Pinfu Dora. The head-to-head loss, but Lika at least didn't aim for the maximum value. She could have taken the Honitsu Chitoi for even more value. But instead,
we're about the same, right? Oh, no, close Honitsu, of course. Yes. But yeah, I think, honestly, playing a Dora to a reach it's not something I'd expect a player of Lika's caliber to do.
Yeah, Lika's shown herself to be calm and cool under pressure, against the Riichi, willing to take the challenge, but on the right tile. And the wall did not reward that challenge. However, she will have her dealership here.
This feels somewhat rewarding, although she's not the only one with a really good hand. Looking at Negishi's start here. Oh, wow, okay. 2 pairs and a triplet of Yakuhai for Fujikawa.
Nice Kanchan fill, but many more to come for Ueno.
Yes. I'm curious to see how long she keeps the 8 of pins there, because I want to see 789 Sanchoki. I know I won't get what I want, but I want to see it. 2 Dora though, 4. And then Nagishi.
Yeah, I think for Ueno, she might hold that for quite a while because the rest of the shapes aren't that strong. And at least Sanchoku gives you a value route to aim for.
Yes.
I feel like that's, if your hand is not that great, you can either play for, safety, hold safer tiles in your hand and hope to get perfect draws, or you could play for value and just hold the most expensive tiles in your hand and hope for value route, because playing maximum efficiency is really slow when your hand is that bad.
Yes. Yeah, I think honestly, sometimes I'm gonna fold this unless. Oh wow, what is this?
Some type of Sanko Ishanten?
It is in fact exactly that. Yes. Possibly even more if she's particularly lucky, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
That's a
Trying
Chanta.
a pair, but not really that useful.
The Tuso might.
2 of bamboo just doesn't feel good, right? You don't want to discard Dora.
Yeah, we might have to give up on the Sanko route, but that's. I'm sure Fujikawa was totally fine with that. Riichi with the doors.
Absolutely.
It's about to be. Holding the 5 cent for a little extra acceptance.
Yeah, the 1-3-5 is nice. Ideally, you don't ever want to discard the 1-3 part of it because you want to use the Dora, but
it also keeps the Chanta alive. Ooh, even one step further, so the 5 so comes out now.
Well, okay. I think it's one of the situations though, because you have Dora and because you have the Chanta. I don't know if I'd necessarily open, but we are getting into sort of mid-game here. So maybe I'd be feeling like maybe now's the time. Try and sneak a Tenpai in. We'll see.
Because been collecting pairs and pins. Not yet time to discard the 4, so she says.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a half flush there. There are other hands that could be.
Interestingly, Fujikawa did not hold the 1 pin there, just immediately cut it back, foregoing the 1-3-5 pin Diankan shape and holding the 2-3-3 so instead. 3 so cut was an interesting idea, but it seems like she really is still thinking about the Sananko.
Yeah.
Ishanten. Ueno with Dora 2. Now, Fujikawa can probably suss out that pins is somewhat expensive to Lika.
I guess the only downside to that, keeping the 2-3-3 shape, is I feel less and less comfortable with playing the 2.
Right.
Especially now when we haven't seen anyone play the Dora yet.
There's another pair.
Oh.
Suanko Ishantem.
Well, hello.
That's a thought.
Doesn't have to be Suanko, but
doesn't.
Imagine if it is. Imagine if it is, guys.
Hopefully not on Lika's dealership.
No, let's hope not. That'd be really bad, actually.
She considered the 5-pin chi and let it go, leaving in the draws, and these draws are not coming her way. 7 so. We don't need Sozu, we need 2 mon or a pin tile.
This outside hand just hasn't quite landed. I suppose we should be grateful given it is Lika's leadership, but yeah, here's my question, because you got the full flush. Would you be willing to open any shape that advances your hand a step if you're willing to cut the two mons?
I think so. Yeah, pretty much any call. So the 5 pin pass there, I think, signals that she's not willing to commit to the flush. I think she's going to call here for the Tenpai, even if it doesn't have.
I think at this point it's fair. I guess the other concern is maybe if there's a potential way of being 3-10, given the 1 pin discard really early on. There are a lot of weights that would be waiting on that 1 pin. unfortunately. Still, Tenpai. We talk about this a lot. It's always worth fighting for. As long as you don't deal in along the way.
See
Yeah,
if she manages to make it all the way through.
Yeah, I was about to say, we could see a very similar thing happening from Nagishi here, but Nagishi is the one defending a lead. So it makes sense that she's unwilling to...
That will end things.
Oh, we do see Lika deal in on the one, so... Wait, no, we didn't not Lika, sorry, take it back.
It was Ueno making the call for Tenpai as well, and then cutting away the 3-so. Calling the 3-so and cutting away the 1-so into the deal-in. That will be a relatively inexpensive hand, but Fujikawa extends the lead, and Lika loses out on her chance at a Tenpai there.
Yes, as it stands, Lika's still ahead of Fujikawa by 200 points, if we talk about the overall scores. But maybe that lead will be... Well, hopefully not. But maybe Fujikawa will be able to steal even more points from Lika.
I think still very volatile right now in the overall standings. Nagishi at 218.6 should the scores end this way. It's definitely still the leader, and she's sort of in game management position where as long as she has some sort of positive outcome, there's a very good chance that she will promote at the end of this round, advance into the individual final table.
Yeah, exactly. Top two will make it through, but there's a very reasonable chance that with a slight second, that will give her the top two she needs. And if not, then she'll be in a very good position in the next round. But yes, there isn't much time left. Only 3 rounds left. Only 5 slots in the final remain for these players. So, yeah.
Pandora would fit nicely into that 6-8 pin for our dealer. Reno holding a 7 pin but needs a connector. Now stuck with this 2, 4, 5, 7 pin shape, which is so awkward. She's got with relatively nice shapes. Might be willing to call open for this hand.
I think I would be, given how a lot of other shapes seem like they need to be opened to really make it work. And we've got the... Although we did see that the red dragon was skipped on the first one, at least, from our dealer.
They go with a number of inside tiles. Promising. Choice now for Nagishi has a number of Kanchan to discard. We'll cut away from the 7-mon.
I like that. It still enables the very low chance of maybe getting Itsu. I like it. I like it. There's a world where the 8 gets drawn, and then maybe you might consider keeping the 1-3 a little bit longer, just in case. Or we could pair up the 9, which is not as helpful.
A second pair, sometimes good, but maybe... Okay, we'll hold the 4-tile shape in the Sozu, and hold the 9-mon as a pair. That's pretty clever.
A lot of ways that could turn into a 3-sided shape, absolutely.
Okay, now advancing one more step closer to Shanten.
Yeah, this 6-8 shape has not paid off at all for Nagishi. There's still time, but that moment when you're waiting on the door and you're like, does everyone have all these ready? Are they all accounted for? Oh, an interesting draw for Lika, though.
No, she's already discarded the 3-so. So one of those pairs gone. Oh, the 4-so came back.
Okay, so we are going to see a call from Lika.
And
in that case, it would have been better to have the pair of 3-mon. I guess 3-mon's not a tile you're going to likely to pawn, but so maybe getting rid of it isn't the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, she really tried to maximize the usage of Dora, holding the A pin and sacrificing efficiency for quite a while, but in the end, she just had to play what she had. There's a Riichi from Ueno. Riichi Dora 1.
Yeah, Lika was saving the north as a safe tile, I think. So we might be seeing it come out right here. And it's Tenpai for Lika, waiting on 2-5 of characters.
Tateniu only, but we'll shut down the Riichi hand
Yes, so I know value isn't huge, but at the same time, every Riichi stick you collect is not going to be too unwelcome, as long as you're the one who actually wins.
And the Tumon, I believe, is safe against the Riichi. There it is.
There it goes. Lika collects, I believe, just 1,000 points, all simples. Actually, no, that must be 1,500, right?
We have 1,000 for Lika plus the Riichi stick.
Okay.
And that will advance her into second place by 100 points. So this is promising.
Yes. You've got to defend this, Lika. You've got this.
7,000 points away from first. So a Mongon run off of anybody would be fantastic.
Yeah, we're already in South 2, which means there's still some time. There's still some time for Lika to manage to claw some points back.
Yeah, she's played this
But
game
even
really
this is
well
still
so far.
right?
More pairs.
Even this is still perfectly fine. As long as the score's going up and not down, eventually, when the top players are through, you're going to be at the top, right? Hopefully. Ideally, you get there in one game, but like that sometimes doesn't happen.
Another pair. Is this a Riichi toy? No, it's
I don't think
not.
it's toy, but it is openable. But it looks like Lika's not going for toy or just even a quick hand. She's going for the value. She's going to go for the half flush.
Yeah, I like the way she's cutting this though. The 5 so first means if she does draw a Dora, then she can use it.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Although we do see some Dora accounted for already. One in both Nagishi and Ueno's hands. Although that is another pin tile. I'm cheering for Lika, but I'm just worried it's going to be too slow. I'm worried that we're going to see nothing but character tiles and Sozu tiles from here on in.
Just imagine
The curse
nothing
of
but pin
trying
tiles.
to force.
Oh, that's a fantastic draw. Now you have to decide which pair to cut. Oh, hello, Chu.
Actually, huge draw.
This is just Ishan then. Maybe you can cut south or... No, straight forward.
Yeah, I honestly like cutting south there. I think the odds of that backfiring are quite low, and I wouldn't mind a reach with the red dragon concealed. But now we have to worry about defense because we see a Riichi from the dealer.
And it's a tricky Shampoo weight as well.
Oh. I don't think there's anything saying that 3 is even remotely safe to this reach.
South
To check
pairs,
what
though.
this cast has been. Actually, 3 was... No, that's a 5. Okay.
4 pin east. You could easily see an east filtering out of somebody's hand here. One's cut already.
The 2 draw for Lika is very interesting. She has cut the 4 already, so that 2-3 shape will be 30-10 if she gets to Tenpai. But a way to use them without having to discard them and still be able to win.
There's so much value here for Ueno as well. Riichi eats Dora. It's already 12,000 points.
Yeah, definitely a way to come back from this. Are we going to see it? We're going to see a call? 4 Tenpai? Oh, no. Okay. I was going to say, are we going to take the 3-10 Tenpai? No.
We're making this call. We're making value out of this.
Good luck. Good luck, Lika. I feel like you're going to need it.
3 mod passes.
It does.
And this also allows Lika to use the 4 pin should she draw it.
We're not safe. We're not safe. We play it before the reach.
Alright, so still pass 1 east in the wall and 4 pins live. Oh! I wonder if... Yeah, Fujiko is just out here, so... won't really help this hand along. This is an alternate Tenpai, and Lika will take it. This one not 50-10.
It might not be the half flush, but honestly, just be able to stop this. I think this reach. I think there's value in it.
Shun only.
But again, collecting another Riichi stick if she manages to pick it up.
It is definitely aggressive taking this fight against the dealer.
Yes. I wonder how I wonder how long she's going to be willing to keep the fight up.
Oh, there's the East. And it's relatively safe. Except this time it deals in. And will there be Ura? No Ura, so just the 12,000. Riichi, Itsu, Ton, Dora 1.
Oh, poor Lika. Going from second place to last. We still got South 3 and South 4 left. Actually, no, and South 2, because that was the dealer reach, of course. Keep fighting, Lika. Don't give up.
Of course, Lika still has a dealership remaining. She can get that exact hand back.
That's true, yes. A quote that I stole from a friend of mine that, if I remember correctly, Gemma quoted a few times. While you still have a dealership left, you have a chance to score an infinite number of points. Although I guess in this situation, because there's a timer, it's not infinite, but it's still a very big number. Finite but high number of points. If you keep winning until the time runs out.
Fujikawa might be hit significantly advantaged here. Already Ishanten. Deciding whether to cut a pair or cut this Kanchan.
I'd be thinking about 234 Sanshoku. I would probably be... Yeah, would I be confirming a pair at this point? Okay, yeah. See, I would have kept the 3, I think, just because of that chance of the 234 Sanshoku. So I would have had the 2 3s to try and build a 234 shape hidden inside that mess. So if I was going to cut a pair, it would have been the 6, not the 3.
Yeah, oh, the 3 still comes back.
Oh! We draw another 3. Unfortunate. Still. Nagishi once again going for 7 pairs. Doesn't need a huge value hand, but that would certainly do it.
Oh.
And there's the 3. So we've got that 1, 2, 3, 4, and the reach comes out immediately.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do? 3-so, 3-so, 6-so, Tenpai.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Good luck defending.
And it's Pinfu. Still nothing wrong with a nice Riichi Pinfu. I think it's did she get... No, she didn't get the Dora, unfortunately. But still.
Yeah, it's a little sad. It's missing the Dora or the 234 Sanchoku, but... Or the 1-2-3 Sanchoku.
Points, especially when you're in first place. You don't necessarily need to win big points as much as just stop the other players from catching up to you.
If that 4-mon was a 1-mon instead, this would be Hanuman class.
That is a good draw for Lika, but with the reach, and I guess from being in last place, she kind of has to fight this. She has no real choice, right?
Maybe she just says Sozu's clear and jams?
If I'm going to jam something, it would probably be... It'd probably be the 8-man. I don't like it. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. I want to go for that high roll. I want to try and high roll the 789 Sanshoku. It's so unlikely, but what if the next 2 draws are perfect?
I think you have to play for those high rolls now.
And of course, Lika draws the one pin that deals in.
That stops on it.
Oh, yes, that's true for now. But from last place, if I think I'm Tenpai, I'm going for it, you know. Which is, unfortunately, something hopefully we won't see. Hopefully Lika will stay disciplined.
Yeah, we saw her not only stop on the 1 pin, but also break her hand completely with the 5-pin Genbutsu. So it looks like she's in folding zone now.
Yeah, there it is.
And it's a tough spot to be because you're in last. You want to win points, but at the same time, if you just give up points for free, it'll make your job harder when it gets to your dealership. So Lika gave it a try.
The other thing is, if you take a small last, you might be in the next round. If you take a big last, you're out.
That's a very good point as well.
So yeah, we'll see. Good luck, Lika. Stay safe.
1.4 pin the weight. A number of those tiles have been drawn. I think I could see 3 of the 1 pins and a couple of the 4 pins as well. But all 4 of the 1 pins and most of the 4 pins.
Yes, I think it is just a 1 tile wait for this Riichi, but you never know, you only need 1. And Riichi Pinfu Tsumo would be very important for Fujikawa right now, just getting that little bit of extra breathing room. I think there's our last 4 pin, so that's every tile accounted for. So it now becomes a question of, will the other players be able to get to Tenpai without dealing in?
I think she's maybe the closest to finding an actual Tenpai with a Chitoi hand. But whether or not she chooses to push it is another matter altogether.
I do like that just as a general. If I'm playing defensively, I'm just going to start collecting pairs of tiles and hope that maybe I can sneak into Tenpai at the end. I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to... Unless I've got Dora 2 or something, in which case I'm all in. But
yeah, if she was really trying to push that, she might have gotten with the Suchi 2 pin, but yeah, definitely just playing maximum safety here. Already in very good position overall. We can see if the game ended here, she would have 198.6, which she started this game at the top of the standings, and 198.6 will still be very close to the top. And top 2 advance.
Yes. Yeah, even if she goes from first to second, that's still through. So absolutely worth playing a very disciplined, very safe game.
It's a lot of mon tiles. 6 mon will clear, though.
Do you think this is probably just going to go to exhaustive draw? We are going to see Negishi try and get to Tenpai, interestingly enough. We were just talking about how defensive she could be playing, but that call does put a 1 away.
It also shifts the Haite draw off of Fujikawa.
That's also a very good point. Yes, something that we do see occasionally when people are sort of counting how many discards remain to see who's got the last one. Something I always forget to do.
Yeah, a tip
but
for
it's always good to see when
the viewers, those who may not know, though, if there are no calls, then the South player has the last discard.
It's actually, yes, just a really good way of trying to work it out. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I should use that more often.
And then you get into a situation where there's like 3 different pawns and a couple cheese, and all of a sudden that rule goes off. But
so I swear someone taught me that. It might have been Max? I can't remember now. Someone taught me that. I must have forgotten. Thank you for reminding me. Either way, it is exactly as we predicted. 4,000 point swing, though, for Fujikawa on everyone else, as they all pay her 1,000 points each.
Yeah,
now it is her dealership.
Every point counts for Fujikawa, showing that
Absolutely.
You can start in the lower part of the standings and still climb your way to the top here. At 124 is matching where Ueno started. Should the game end here? But of course, Fujikawa wants more out of this game. She has a dealership with which to collect points. And
yeah, every point matters in getting to the next stage of the playoffs. So good luck to her. Obviously, I'm still sure for Lika. Still holding out hope that Lika can manage to make something happen. She still has that dealership left. So I haven't. I should be looking at her hand though. Ueno with the interesting start there.
Yeah, 2 Yakuhai pairs.
She doesn't necessarily need a huge win, but just having the Yakuhai pairs, yeah.
That's one of them, and it's Pon.
I think when you've got 2, I think it's actually a lot less bad, right? To just open your hand and call, because even if you just get 2 hand, it's still something, and you can usually find a 3rd hand somewhere, right?
And situationally as well, the gap between Ueno and Negishi is really close, so she can even put 2,000 points of separation. And she has 2 Dora as well, incidentally, so it's a little bit more than just 2,000, potentially Mongon.
Yeah.
But Lika has been drawing really well after that call. Ishanten now.
Clearly, all the good tiles were just one tile left.
Second Yakuhai call though, and that's Tenpai on Sanzo. The 3-so for.
She's a Dharma for now.
Yeah, for 8,000 points.
Okay. Obviously, she's not in the east seat, but just having a triplet complete is going to be very handy for her.
Needs a 7-so ideally.
Yes.
Oh, there's a 3-so, but that will be held. And Riichi declared 7 mon the weight. Riichi Dora 1. Negishi taking this as an opportunity to surpass Ueno, who will just jam against this. And now, this is Tenpai as well. We're going to see a chase from dealer. Fujikawa not going to let this Riichi go unmatched.
3 players in reach.
And now Lika...
Imagine what it feels like for poor... So, wait, hang on. No, 2 players in reach, 1 player in Tenpai. Right, obviously she'd opened. Was waiting on that 3 of Bamboo. Poor Lika, though. Not being Tenpai. And even if you were Tenpai, do you want to be taking a big risk by Riichi at this point?
Right, back to Ishanten.
Yeah.
2 8-pins have come out, so the 9-pin marginally safer.
You could try and justify that, but no, we're just going to play the 100% safe tile.
Just going to let the...
Someone else will deal in, hopefully.
Right.
They'll get to a point where they're positioned in a position where Lika can then snipe them and gain a position at the end.
This is just such a good opportunity for Ueno here. You have to push, I feel. As scary as these tiles are, it's Sumo. Dealer Sumo. On the cheap side.
Oh, that is the one thing we don't want to be seeing.
Riichi Sumo
Lika's going to be losing points, but without anyone else taking the cost.
It does, I guess, give some time for decrease the gap.
That's true. Another opportunity to draw a Tenho, right? The Tenho roulette.
No, I guess we want Chiho. Chiho
Oh, all
roulette.
that, yes.
The gap
But yes,
now.
losing 1,500 points without the game state really changing much. We don't know who's at the bottom 2 right now. Maybe that 1.5 extra points might be the difference between making it through or not making it through. I hope you make it through, Lika.
Negishi
Keep fighting.
did drop a Riichi stick, so Mangan Sumo from Lika does take over 3rd place temporarily. And then you'll have her
That's
dealership
actually
as
really
well.
Yes. Opening with a 3 pairs. I'm hoping it develops quite well, but it looks a little bit slow for Lika right now.
Looks amazing for Fujikawa, though. Dealer might get
Does.
another win here. 2-1 connector is okay for Lika. She moves towards the Tateniu.
Yeah, the person with the worst hand right now is Ueno.
Oh my goodness, there's another fantastic draw.
But here we go.
Wow, look at this. Holding the Kanchan acceptance, setting up a Sotogawa trap.
Yeah, I like that, honestly.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
playing a tile really early tries to give an impression to the other players that you don't need tiles around that one. That's what we mean by Sotogawa. I think on average, if you say, let's say, I think it's 5%, I believe, is the number that people quote. So if a tile around the tiles that they're waiting on, if you're trying to play a tile that's around the tile that someone has discarded really early on, it tends to be 5% off, 5% safer. Of course,
It did backfire,
that's
but
probably the most bullshit explanation I've ever said. But
I love the play. I love the play. It's subtle because usually you're sacrificing efficiency to do that. But in this instance, she gains the 8-pin tile of acceptance. She loses the pair draws, the drawing a triplet of one of her pairs, which is what ended up happening there. But even then, it's not the worst backfire because she still has an incredibly wide Ishanten and the trap still exists.
exactly, yeah. Yeah, when you're playing new people, it works quite well. When you're playing against other people who know about it, and will be trying to play around you knowing about it too, it does become a different game.
That's another Kokushi tile,
Yeah.
and that's a Tenpai.
We're going to see a reach. And as you say, with that really early 7, of course she doesn't have anything around that 7. How could she have anything around that 7? Well, we'll see. We'll see if someone does fall for this. As Negishi gets another shape complete, but still one away from Tenpai.
Yeah, it's Ishanten, but you're fighting against dealer Riichi.
Exactly.
I guess she is the closest to dropping down to 4th. We've got nothing really to play for in this hand, so she'll probably just try to fold away.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good being in last place in South 3 without a fighting hand, but if the wall doesn't deal it to you, you can't make it, can you?
Maybe a little hesitation from Fujikawa on that Riichi because a number of the 9-mon had been discarded, and that's the tile you're trying to trap.
Yes. Yeah, we might still see that 9-1 come out from Ueno, but I think they're gonna play just guaranteed safe tiles. She has nothing worth fighting for right now.
She's still kind of close. We'll play 1 pin, maybe 2 pin in the future. Sumo.
Yes.
Expensive side as well. The Tanyao. Another 2,000
Not
doll.
nerfed at this time, but
Plus Honba, of course.
the rich continue to get richer.
Fujikawa. Some amazing hands here in the South rounds to extend this dealership. 4 Honba now?
Yes, indeed.
Very soon. There it is.
There's still time. There's still time for anyone to make a comeback. We're still in South 3. Even though the scores for everyone are getting lower and lower and lower, we're still in South 3. There's still a chance.
It may be South 3 now, but imagine we're only halfway through the game after Lika's 12 dealer repeats.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be great.
This is a pretty awesome hand for Fujikawa once
Yes.
again. But Lika with Tudora. And when I open up this hand and see the Tudora, in my mind I say, I'm going to fight this no matter what.
Yes.
Fujikawa could second turn
hand.
Riichi as dealer, and I'll fight this.
Yeah. From this position, you kind of have to, right? The only issue is, do you open the hand is the next question. Because you could just go for all symbols Dora too, but from such a far behind position.
Only if the Forbon comes out. Only if I get to pull Dora. But outside of that, I think we're staying closed, and we're Ishantan.
Oh, what a huge draw!
So what are you hoping for? We'll hope to draw around the 7. So it looks like.
I think that's fair. Just trying to keep let's keep as wide a acceptance as possible.
Yeah, with the 2 pins cut.
I'm going to see a really early reach
Oh,
from
no.
the dealer, waiting on 4-7
It's
of
the
Bamboo. There's a 7 of
7-0.
Bamboo, unfortunately.
Okay. We'll see if
That's
Lika
a
can
well.
play
There's
around
one
this,
to
but
stay safe here. She just has to draw like the 6 of Bamboo or something like that, and then use the 7 instead.
yeah,
But if she gets Tempai, she's pushing that 7.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can't anticipate 4th turn dealer reach. And there's the
Tempai.
Riichi.
There's the
And
7.
it's going to come out. Riichi, Dora 1.
No error, thankfully, but Lika taking a hit here to the dealer. Oh.
And what was a glorious opportunity for Lika. The dealer, Fujikawa, just gets there first.
You can't fault that, though. That was as good play as you could ever expect.
Yeah, it's incredible that decision 3rd turn between the 3 pin and the 7, so ended up being the difference.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point.
Oh, of course, we're not guaranteed
There's
that
no way to know,
she
right?
wouldn't have drawn another 7 so after declaring Riichi, but
yeah,
I don't think at that point there was much difference between the two, and it turns out that it could have actually changed things. But of course, you can't know as the player.
Yeah,
which one's going to be better in the future. You can't predict the future, unfortunately. When they come up with that technology,
if you could, I wonder what it would be like if you could play if you were playing as someone who has perfect knowledge of every tile, but you don't. How horrible would that be?
I imagine if playing somebody with like perfect photographic memory that can just, if you say you're playing hand shuffle, they just know where all the tiles are as they're being shuffled, can map it out into the wall. I imagine that's what it would be like.
That would be terrifying. But yes, it is Southpaw. It is Lika's last dealership, and we've already had the South called.
Double
so
South.
It may be a very short dealership. Yes, Double South, in fact, exactly.
6-0 Dora, so...
Yeah, but with Double South, and Nagishi on its own, it's not enough. But you should have another look at her hand. See if she can get enough value to overtake away now.
After calling, I think Lika is actually just planning to aim for the flush. Double South Honitsu is Mangan, so it's worth aiming for.
So I just realised it's still South 3. I don't know why I assumed that we escaped South 3. But no, we're still in South 3 Honba 5. I take it back.
And we may be here even longer.
Possibly.
Fujikawa with the East call and pair of Dora.
I do respect Lika trying to make something happen, though, because you have to try. When you know your score is going to be, 95.2 at the end of this game.
Yeah, despite the scoreline at this point, I feel like Lika's played this game extremely well to her conditions. Yeah. And the wall hasn't been in her favor yet.
Had a really good reach with Dora too. Like, you know, that's just where you shrug. You're just like, oh, okay, well.
Now, or rather, we'll call.
Lika is going to try and make this happen. I think that's respectable, honestly. If you're going to open once, you might as well open a second time.
Yeah, it leaves, it doesn't advance us the most, but does leave a nice floating 7-mon.
Yeah.
And remember,
exactly.
Fujikawa has opened as well, so she has to be a little bit careful about how far she wants to push mon tiles. That's a fantastic mon draw.
And as you say, keeping that 7 now lets us use the 8, which is really, really nice.
And that's Riichi Negishi waiting on the 3-pin, targeting Lika, honestly, because it's very clear that Lika's going for a mon Honitsu.
Yes.
She cannot use a 3-pin.
When you know someone's flashing, gives them an ultimatum, either to completely fold out or risk dealing in.
Riichi Dora 1 is something that Negishi really wants to win. However, it is a risk because if Lika is Tempai and you deal into a Mongon, that is a swing into last. Now, Lika will escape last place. So it feels like she just has to push. We'll at least wait a little bit, but I think she'll push on upon Tempai.
Yeah, I think the 1-mon is not that helpful. Obviously, we can try and use it to get better weights, but it's not that worth keeping.
Oh, the dealer tile.
And there's the 3-pin.
The 3-pin probably comes out before the 6, but no. Once again, Lika stopping on the dealing tile.
Yeah, it's really good instincts. Unfortunately, instincts cannot affect pure statistics, and if you get the bad roll, oh no. Oh no, that's even worse. There's a world where Lika just plays for Tempai and still discards the 3, but not yet. No, it
seems she's decided that the 3-6 pin Suji is the bad Suji, and she's right.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna say I love moments like that, but I don't. I don't love moments like that.
So anyway, Negishi finds it.
When you get to see, oh yes, my instincts were right. Also, flipping an Eridora. No, she only had the Eridora.
My instincts are right. Here are your points.
Yes, my instincts are right. I'm actually playing really well. I'm losing. Oh, and that's the one person we didn't want to see scoring points.
Well, at this point, it doesn't matter because Lika just needs to win repeatedly.
True.
Negishi now with that big win will hop into second place. And remember, she was the leader at the start of the round. So if she can finish in second place, there's a very, very good chance that she could be getting a promotion.
Yes, top 2 out of all 12 remaining players make it through to the next stage of the playoffs. Bottom 2 out of all 12 players will be cut, so I guess she's definitely on track for that, absolutely. But can Lika fight back in any meaningful way with these tasks? Actually, yes. I'm very much liking that. Having a Dora in hand, trying to go for pin food, potentially all simples, just staying really basic, staying really simple, but sometimes the basics work, especially when times are tough, you know?
Yeah, but it's promising, right? As long as you have a little bit of hope.
Exactly. I will say she's not the only one with a really good hand. I believe it is Fujikawa right here with the potential Itsu already one away from Tempai. The weights can be bad either way, I think, but still, Itsu Tempai that she can open just to try and speed it up a little bit longer, a bit more if Ueno's willing to give a 7. But yes. Tough situation for everyone else on this table, though. Because the Fujikawa doesn't need value.
Yeah, but she's got it. Well, honestly, though, you'll never say no to value, especially Fujikawa, who started so low, now has a huge opportunity to not only move back towards the middle of the pack, but also climb towards the top. She may not be playing for
That's
advancement in
true.
this game, but in the next game, and oh my goodness, there's an early Tenpai with Takame Itsu.
So yes, 3 does win, but obviously she wants the 6.
And this is a spot for Lika where you can consider just trying to avoid losing points to maybe stay in the tournament a little bit longer, or you can just fight.
I mean, I'm all in at this point. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, it's one of the
6-0 draw
sixes.
for Ueno. That's one of the big deal in tiles. She'll hold it.
Yeah, being last year, I feel like you've got to. I feel like you've got to just give it a go, right?
She's giving it a try.
1 away from Tenpai right now. Sorry, I think she's still 2 away. Actually,
Yes.
take it back. She swaps her 2 away for a different 2 away, but a better 2 away.
There's Takame dealing.
Yeah. Although could potentially set herself up for a 3-6 weight in the future. Perhaps I could see it.
The one problem with that is that she'll likely have to discard the Dora or to make it happen. Usually, it's not going to happen. Now, if the 3-pin comes out, she can pull and cut 5-so in the future, perhaps. Oh, second Dora.
Okay. Now that makes things awkward, but I see her dealing on 6 and 6. So I hate to say it. I just see it.
Yeah, there's
So
not
I
really,
don't think any world where I don't discard the 6. So
not really any
in her
information
position.
here. Could 3-pin, but it's hard to
That's-
tell what's safer here.
yeah, she stays safe for now.
At some point, you're just playing for whatever gives you the best chance to complete your hand.
Yes. Oh, I'm scared.
Ichikawa has no control over her discards either. So, oh, Tenpai for Ueno, and she will fight, aiming for second place here. Oh, but it doesn't matter. There's the Takame
We
Sumo.
do see this one.
Each
Fujikawa managed to take an extra 1,000 points thanks to Ueno's Riichi.
Itsudora as well.
And yes, the good side, absolutely.
What a game.
That's unfortunate for Lika. I'm really curious to see if she's in the next round. I hope she is. I really do. I hope she's still got another chance to fight. But that's going to be another 4,000 points paid at the end of this match. Huge win for Fujikawa, though. Well played.
Yeah,
And
huge
honestly,
win.
well played to everyone. Like Lika played really, really well, right? There's not anything that I noticed was like, oh, that's a mistake. There wasn't anything like that, you know? It's just sometimes you take a minus 50, and every time you get a nice weight, you happen to draw the tile that deals it immediately afterwards, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And so,
But yeah, what a fun match. That was a really exciting match, even if it is a bit disappointing to see.
yeah, really
but-
well played on all fronts. There's some huge hands, big sumos, and a lot of fighting mahjong, which is what we hope to see in these individual playoffs, is that the players were
absolutely.
attacking each other. And there were multiple 3-player Tenpai hands.
I love the Khans, especially the Khans that actually did get to Tenpai and managed to reach as well. Unfortunately, the Khans didn't pay off for us. We did not flip the Eridor, unfortunately. But yeah, I love seeing everyone going for it because you don't have much time. This is a very sort of tense and short event. It's all happening in one day. We did the broadcast in 2 days, of course, but these players have been playing 4 games straight, potentially, depending on how early they got into this one. So yes, terrifying. But yeah, I suppose before we move on to the next game, how are the scores looking right now? Lika, are you safe? Looks like she has dropped down to, oh no, second last. Arisawa managing to just stay alive that little bit longer with 92.5 points, and Lika with 89.7.
If one of the two Riichi players dealt into each other, Lika would have survived this round, but because it was Sumo on the Takame as well, they got to pay 4,000 points, and that ends up being the difference. We can see the scores on the left are the scores before the game started, and then after the game ended are the scores to the right. So Negishi started at 213.4, finishes 2.9 points higher at 216, and that's the only player over 200 points, so Negishi looks like she will get the promotion, the advancement into the next round.
Lucky too. But yes, I don't know if we got another image for who makes it through and who didn't.
Of course we do.
Amazing.
Legacy and Harikai will advance into the final round. That was a close one for the second advancement spot. Sugano with 180.9 just missing out.
Of course, the 3rd to 10th place all have another shot in the next round. But poor Lika and poor Sugimura getting eliminated here in round 4. That is a shame. I was cheering for Lika. I really hoped that she would have at least squeaked by to get to the next round. But, oh well. Congratulations to the people who made it through, though.
Absolutely. And we will have 2 more games to watch as well. To join in the commentary for those games will be both Jenn and Harrison.
Yes. Welcome, Jenn, and welcome, Harrison.
Wow!
Lika played so well, she just got so unlucky.
Are you sure? Because that never happens in Mahjong. I've never seen people play well and get unlucky. I don't think those things can happen together.
Imagine having a 3-pin and a 7-so, and you're a Shanten, and you play the 3-pin first, and then immediately after that, you draw Tenpai, but the 7-so deals in. But it wouldn't have dealt in if you played the 7-so first.
Oh, literally my entire career. Yeah, no, I had a whole A1 season of just that.
Harrison,
I'm very familiar.
well familiar with that bit of
And genuinely,
misfortune.
that one deal in would have put you to the next round because you wouldn't have lost that many points. That one deal in costed everything because of just literally a 50-50.
Losing a 50-50.
But
Yeah.
you also remember in one of the early rounds, it was an early Riichi on 360, and Lika was forcing a flush in the Manzu. And Drew Tenpai had the choice of waiting for the maximum value closed flush with 7 pairs, and instead chose to wait on the door and not deal in. That was also a fantastic moment that it was also on the 6-0, and the 6-0 went to the other Riichi player rather than to Lika.
Ugh.
That was another example of a brilliant play that didn't pan out in the end, but awesome to see.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think she can leave this event with her head held high. She did great. Alongside everyone else in Team WRC. Of course. No, Jenn, you did great.
It did not feel great the last game, but
There-
there was
Okay, ups and a lot of downs. You know, that's what defines Mahjong. We're so backs, followed by the absolute worst is so overs you've ever seen in
Yeah.
your life.
I keep feeling like, okay, well, at least this is probably the worst I will ever lose in my whole life. There's no way I could lose more than this. And I just defy myself right after that. Often.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been saying that for 2 years, so I just think that's how it goes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well,
Is
that's
this
why
where I
we're
have
on the mics here and not playing on the broadcast. At least for me.
It's okay. At least
We
we
do
get
have
to
a-
You
watch.
made it. You
I mean,
made
that's
it.
what-
Your name's
that's what
in
commentary
there.
is,
That's the
right?
important part.
That's what commentary is. You get to play a game without having any of the consequences of failure. It's great.
Exactly.
You get to play the game in the back of your mind, say what you would have done in that situation, and then if you're wrong,
That's true.
then you can say how good the other player is for not doing the thing you would have done. It's great.
It's
Right.
a win-win. You never lose.
Exactly. Yeah, I think we've got a interview to play, and I'll leave you guys to it.
Alright, thank you, Chiral.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Nathaniel.
Chiral. Thanks, Nate.
Check out Sunday, the World Riichi League broadcast, because certain
Yup.
Harrison's going to be doing one.
I'll be doing too. We'll talk more on that later. Believe me.
Awesome,
We'll be plugging
awesome.
that World Riichi stream.
Heck yeah. But yeah, have a good one, everybody, and play with Mahjong.
So I believe was Chiral correct? We have a interview video.
Yeah, it
We're
should
gonna
be
get
like
into-
a kind of report, a selfie report, kind of
Let's
thing
see.
by. There it is.
連盟の山脇です。産経新聞社杯個人戦プレーオフで勝ち残ることができました。こ この後の準々決勝も手強い相手が待っていますけれども、全力で頑張っていきたいと思います。応援よろしくお願いします。
Alright, Yamawaki. She's been on like quite a few final tables or semi-final tables lately, so she's just looking for her chance, for her turn, basically.
Looking to get the crown. I mean, that's how it feels, especially with a lot of tournaments. Like, it's about more so the consistency to put yourself in the position to hit that first, to hit that crowning spot.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
That's what I assume too. Listen, I'm not very different.
All
I'm not
the
top
pro
rated.
tournaments are like days and days long.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I don't really get any experience in like 1 or 2 day tournaments. So it's a little bit different scene, but we started with 4 tables. And now we are down to 2 tables. So we had 4. And we had people leaving and going, and we dropped down to 3 tables for the previous game. And this game, there are only 2 tables left, only 8 players.
Yeah.
And
And
these
is
are
it
them.
the same bottom 2 out, top 2 advance?
Yes, for one more game.
Okay.
Yep, and we will be watching the first place player, the last place player, and the 2 players in the middle. Those are bright green right there. I put the little notes to see where they joined from, so you can see if some people were at the very bottom and won their way up by the end or not. So we still have the players who joined from game 3 all in there, but they don't have quite as many chances because the earlier rounds had 3 people in the top move up, advance to the finals. This time it's only 2, so but fewer players, so lots of opportunities for everybody. So one more game after this, so 2 first places will even allow the last place person to advance. So in the first dealer's seat, we have Mayu Sugano again. She was in the first game yesterday, I believe, from Saikoi-sen Professional Mahjong Association. In the south seat, Mayu Fujikawa from Mahjong Union. In the west seat, Himeko Sakuragawa from Japan Professional Mahjong League. And in the north seat, Nao Arisawa from the Nihon Pro Mahjong Association. And this is the first time I think we've had 2 players from the same team on the same table. Yeah, because until now it was only like the teams were playing against each other, so each team only had 1 player. But now, since they're in the individuals, we had the first opportunity for people from the same team to face off against each other.
Yeah, it'll be. I almost wonder if they have more knowledge on the other player from their same team. I'm not 100% knowledgeable about like how teams are crafted and everything, but I'd think if you're on the team with somebody, you would at least play a little bit more frequently with them than you might some other players.
It's just some teams do actually like practice together.
Yeah.
In the past, our team has. We didn't this year, but so it is a possibility. But I'm guessing since it's map that they both just work at map, and so maybe they don't actually practice together.
Oh,
And
so
even
this might
different
be,
leagues as well.
time beginnings, all that. And as we're looking at these high pies, well, we have Ishanten for a Chitoi by Arisawa there. Sakuragawa 2 in the dealer seat, looking like a Chitoi. Currently only at, I believe, 3 pairs though, so a lot of work to do. Or no, we're at 4. Okay, we got a little bit of shape with it too, so now we got some flexibility. Spoke a little too soon. And Sugano in the west seat, shaping up quite nice. No Dora, nothing to sweat. And Fujikawa, I think, is just going to get beat out here on speed. Oh, and Anko Dora, yep, that'll help. So Sakuragawa has an absolute orbital laser locked, loaded, charging up. Looking to hit Tenpai, hit a reach on it. Could have cut the Norse. Play very, very standard shape. Can't really move into a Tanyao, but, you know, is what it is. You will definitely take a Tenpai as is given. Norse, I'm assuming, are by far the most efficient cut that you can make from a hand like that. Ishanten double kanchan.
It's like lots and lots of pairs in 3 of the hands here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Arisawa's discard is really suspicious to all the other players. It could be a flush, it could be a kokushi even.
Yeah, I think if Arisawa Riichi's, for better or for worse, a lot of players are gonna back up. Obviously not Sakuragawa, because Sakuragawa has the nuts. She's got all the value.
Ooh, interesting.
That will be interesting. Could throw the north. 2 norths are out. Yep. And Arisawa is gonna play it. Now you have options for Toy Toy. You have a more normal-ish looking hand. Ton of flexibility there.
Another pair. This time Sugano was the one with only 2 pairs, and now she has 3.
Yeah. Sugano, I have a feeling,
Sakuragawa.
is gonna push away from it. I would think. If Sugano is gonna play the hand at all, I really think that Arisawa or Sakuragawa is just gonna hit Tenpai any day now. Especially because Arisawa looks like she's adapting the shape to be able to open up
And there's, like
with
you
that
said, now
Uncle Ease.
Sugano, yeah, has a chance at the full straight now, and
Mhm.
we call it
Oh.
in Japanese they call it massaging out a pair.
Mhm.
I think the idea is kind of like a knot in your back.
Yeah.
Like the pairs are like they're kind of sticking up, so you rub it out. It doesn't sound good.
Super
That's how
interesting
that said.
decision from Sakuragawa. Long tank on that. Draws the Anko of the 3-so. Decides to cut from the 2-4-6 pin. I would have thought it would have been 2 Mon there with 2 4-4 5-6 and a 2-4-6 Ryokan, even with 1 5 pin showing. Oh, but what do I know? We'll just hit the 6 after. What would you cut in this situation, Jen? You think you would trim from the Pinzu, or you think you would go with that 2 Mon as well? Or even 6 Mon thrown back?
I think if there's nothing on the board, I like the pinzu, the dot
Mhm.
first, but I think there's a lot of 3s out already, a couple of 3s out already, so probably the Manzu, sorry. So
Yeah.
the 2 makes sense.
I wonder too with Arisawa's pond here, if we're
It's
trying to actively like get rid of that Pinzu we know we're gonna have to get rid of before the Riichi like this.
Well, it's like, yeah, one or the other, right? You either get rid of
Yeah.
it early or keep it forever.
And yeah, especially with it being overlapped in shape, it's just not happening. And there's still 2 Haku in the wall, 2 of those white dragons. Arisawa was gonna be fishing for. I don't know if anybody's gonna throw it though. I would not be surprised if these players get steered off from all the honors, especially with a pawn like that. Yeah, even the tune doesn't look great. That's at least once out, maybe twice. I think just once.
Yeah, Sugano's just completely out.
Yeah, Fujikawa's about to be tested here too.
Fujiwara. Everybody's like, Kawa. No, there's 2 Kawas. Oh,
Oh, and we're
draws
gonna
it.
sumo on it. Reach sumo Chitoi. No Ura. It's gonna be 13, 20,
1632.
1632. Almost there.
Almost
We're
there.
working
Come
on it. There
on.
was something with a 300. There's thousands. That is the hardest part, doing math, especially when it's like done in front of you and should be way easier. I'll just
Yeah,
use the
that
defense if I never win cheat toys, so I don't remember what those are off the top of my head.
it's a
Not
good
in my
it is
counts.
a good defense.
Yeah, the problem is I don't draw, so I especially on the sumo, never me. Although I
Yeah, the
guess
thing
that's
about the
same
yeah, with Shitoi, that's the one time it doesn't make a difference.
Oops, I just don't even win them. Just not for me.
Well, most hands, if you're closed and you draw it yourself, then it's a 30 point, 30 fu.
Yeah, but
And then if you win on a discard and it's not
Chitoe.
painful, then it's 40 fu, but Chitoe is always 25 either way, so
It's that weird one, yeah. All the numbers are just odd.
yeah, but usually when you draw, also if you draw Chitoe, it's often mangan or more because you're not usually, I guess. Well, if you're pushing in these kind of rules, then you're often gonna have a pair of Dora or
Dora, and then
Ura
it's just
Dora. Yeah,
Hanemon
so you're
and
gonna get to
Mangan, yeah.
mangan anyway, so that's the reason. You just don't win on those cheap hands, so why would you ever have to score them?
That's what I'm saying. I can count the Han. I'm good at that. As we've been Chitoe yapping, not a lot's been going on board. Everyone's fixing their shape. Strongest contender is looking like Sugano right now. I believe Ryan Shanten's still a bit strong. Ryan Shanten, maybe even Ishanten. Oh, now we're Ishanten. So yes, very, very strong hands. Probably going to be first Riichi on the board. Although all it takes is for Fujikawa to, or excuse me, Sakuragawa to just draw one or two more. What is that? Is it Manzu Itsu?
Let's fill in for Fujikawa.
Oh, that's an interesting draw. Just gonna opt for the 8. I guess with 2 Mondora, you kind of do got to keep that.
Yeah, if it's a 2-man was not Dora, I might try and think of a way to also hedge a full straight Itsu, but
Ooh, and we'll reach.
and also 2 Dora on that hand as well. So we have accounted for all the Dora.
Mm-hmm. Sugano, I believe, just playing Riichi Dora 1.
Oh, sorry, there was
Yeah.
one Dora. Oh,
Yeah.
right.
So on, but everybody's playing Dora. Ooh, speaking of Tenpai. Wait a second. That's not Tenpai. Do we
One
want to
away
check
from
the
Senpai.
9-mon?
Yeah, the Diankan shape is
A
very
little
nice
ugly,
over
yeah.
there. Oh.
Well, it's a little ugly when you have to check it against a reach, I feel.
That's
Like,
true.
efficiency-wise, it's nice, but, like, ooh, it does not feel great. I guess the pair of the, 4s makes you feel a little bit better, but still not great. Oh, but now 5 mons played. We are gonna see that checked by Sakuragawa.
Hmm. Fujikawa also has been on 4 of the broadcast table today, like between yesterday and today, out of 5. She's only not on one of them. That must be.
Movie
I
star
mean,
mode.
it's so exhausting.
I mean, I'd imagine like every game is kind of exhausting, right? Like, sure, the broadcast is a little exhausting too, but I'd imagine everybody's kind of feeling the burn. I don't think the broadcast table would add like that much more. Ooh, and Fujikawa's backing
Oh
away a little
no, it
bit.
adds so much. Oh, nice feeling for Arisawa, but what is she gonna do with that 3-mon against this reach?
5
No,
pen,
I think
yeah.
the broadcast table is a lot more exhausting than the non-broadcast table.
Well, are you thinking about it the whole time? Because that's what you
Yeah,
can't do. You can't
yeah,
let
you
you
have
can't
to
think about
think
it
about
ever.
it. But everybody is thinking about it. They play
Uh,
slower, and it's pretty different. You know, just all the other tables finish way faster than the broadcast table, and it's not just because they don't have breaks in between. There's only a few tables in this tournament that really just played at normal speed throughout the whole broadcast table, and that was the team. I forgot what group it was, but the one with Miyachi, with Kozue Miyachi and Yukiko Izumi.
I mean, if she's still in the tournament, to be fair, then she's at least middle of the pack. Because if she was either doing super well on the broadcast table or super bad on the broadcast table, then she wouldn't be here still.
Right, exactly. But she's in
That's the
last
one
place
benefit.
coming into this game. I
Yeah.
think. Oh no, she was not. She was last
Or
game.
no.
Last place, dead last coming into the last game, and then moved
Yes.
way up with the first place in the last game.
Mhm. Maybe coming out. No one. I mean, everyone seems like they're trying to fight this Riichi, but they don't really have a lifeline to do it.
It's a lot of one away and also mental too many blocks.
Yeah, too many blocks, too many scary things to push. Which is good that this 4-7 isn't getting hit.
Oh, that would
Ooh,
be Senpai.
5 pin safe. Yep, and we'll check it. Riichi,
Three.
1-4 mon.
One more draw to go, I think, for Arisawa.
I believe it is a fairly dead for both players.
All of them right there in Fujikawa's hand, and another two
Yeah.
here in Sakuragawa's hand.
South bad. South must be bad. Yeah.
I,
Fujikawa was
when we were
trying.
looking at
Or Sakuragawa was
not
trying.
Arisawa's, at oh, that was the last hand. No south on the boards. That would be pretty scary. One south.
Oh, it was Shanghai. Yeah. Or yeah, even
Yeah, one away.
against two
One cut.
Riichis too. One Riichi, you might be able to check it, but against two Riichis, like I feel like the odds just go up so much more.
Yeah, it looks like a great weight. Looks like a great weight to the player who's reaching. So you get kind of like
Yeah, if they're holding
paranoid
it
about
two
the
as like a safe tile, they pair it up, they get on a shabo. It's like there's probably a reason why you don't see them. And you don't want that reason to be that they're Tempai on it, and then you just explode throwing this south because one of them hits 3 Uradora. But dealer Haipai, Arisawa, looking aight. Sugano's looking a little better, not too much.
Everybody's just a little better. Not great hands anyway here.
Yeah, I might think Sakuragawa's got the edge by just a hair in terms of hand efficiency. Maybe Sugano. Sugano's hand is looking much, much better now. But no one's got anything super crazy. I think there's only one player with a Dora, unless I'm mistaken. Well, Sugano's got that floating
And
Dora
right
that she
here,
really wants to get rid of. Yeah,
just
fair. It just
throw it
doesn't
away.
fit. Okay, we got Fujikawa trying to work in a Dora too. But no general cannons, no any weird nonsense.
Sugano was first place coming into this game, so she has a little bit of breathing room compared to all the other players.
Yeah, especially with the breathing room that people have is going to be like a huge decider in how all these players are playing. Like Arisawa, especially going fourth into this table, really has to make things count. And I would even argue kind of has to push and get up like she is right now, kind of early, just so that way people don't what is it? Just so that way people don't abuse that she's going to have to push more because she needs to make up those points. She needs to hit that big hand. She needs the extra comfort of being able to take a hand or two and sit out and get really patient later on because she can afford to take some sumo hits.
Look at Sakuragawa's hand right here. She kept that 3 mon, even
Mm-hmm.
though with the 6 Suji. I got
Yeah.
rid of the 5, so the last hand, the last discard, to keep the
Mhm.
option open for the 2, 3, 4 Sanshoko, I think.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Close enough. Ooh. Okay, Sugano. Open it up, getting a little bit weird. That might be a little bit of little piece of Honitsu action from the looks of what I'm seeing. 5 mon.
Allow it.
Not gonna fit. Oh, 9 mon. That's a beautiful draw for a hand like that. Anko 8mon, that's something. Sakuragawa's
I
trying to
can
figure out how
reach
to
with
play it.
that. Wait, the 6/7. Wait, and that's what she'll do.
Yeah, it's gonna snap claw. I almost wonder if you are supposed to play like maybe 6mon there. You have the cheap 2mon draw, and then you fish the Sanshoku.
To take a temporary tempai. Yeah, well, depend on how many points you have. We're still in the east. We're still in east 2, so it's.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Um,
saying. It
yeah,
feels
she's not in
early
danger
enough
of
in the
dropping down.
rounds. You also have the Peiko draws and stuff. It just there's so many disappointing post Riichi draws potentially, and I feel like it's early enough. Like it gets to end of row 2 or somebody else reaches, you just take it, but
I mean, the
man,
one problem
it
with
just feels so
this hand is
cheap.
that with the one bamboo, she's not able to win on a discard. So that makes a big difference. It was like 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5 in the bamboos instead of the 1.
Yeah, that's fair.
And she could win on the Tanyo hand, and so she wouldn't need to reach as much.
Yeah. Be able to kind of wiggle out and take a sneaky dominant end the round if things start looking bad.
Yeah, you don't miss out on that win. You don't. That's the problem. If you let a win go, it's a little bit worse than if you just took a cheaper win after not reaching.
Yeah. Very true, very true. Although 6/7 is looking bad. I think there's what, 2 7s left on the wall? Maybe a 6 as well. My count's right. Oh, this is a weird
I mean,
spot
right in the
too.
middle, yeah, it's always.
Arisawa. Ooh. Doesn't want to check 1-4. Very close to the Riichi. Very scary. 1-6, 2 7s. Yep.
There's 2 7s there and 1 7
2
there.
6s.
So there's no.
1
I don't think
7.
it's.
Single
Now
7,
we
I
got a
believe.
Suji trap. The 4 after the reach might entice the 7 to come out like out of this hand, possibly.
Well, why do that when you have 3 guaranteed safe 1-mons?
True, and it might be too late now if she had tempied instead of getting that one or gotten it.
I think the hand
A step
she
closer.
just I think she just wasn't able to fight for it. Too many scary things to push, especially the value's not there. Like she's going with like a chase, Riichi, maybe Dora 1. It's just hard, you know. Like even here, Arisawa was trying to weigh how to fight and how to get like even a K10 or something, and it's difficult to get there past post. Oh, and there's the last 7. So
There's the last 7.
yeah, it's looking like it's going to K10. That's the one thing I've really noticed about this tournament. Everybody is so defensively like disciplined. Like everybody is so comfortable just folding out unless they have a very explicit, very strong reason to fight.
Yeah, the thing is, like, even a small win gets you, if you're first place, plus 40
Yeah,
in these rules with the Oka. So there's a
it's
lot
a
of
huge deal.
incentive to not deal into people and to do everything you can to just not deal into people.
Yeah,
Especially with all
rolled
these players, when you have like you keep only the middle players and the scores are really close, so you don't have that many players that need just like a massive comeback.
Yeah, it really does feel like kind of placement based to an extent. With all those, it's just a little bit more lenient than top 1.
Good too. Exhaustive draw.
Yeah,
And everyone had folded
Sakuragawa
up.
only Tempai
Yeah.
catches up a little bit. Moves to dealership, so now we're on the Sugano. Can we make it work? Pai seems pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of Bonzu connected there in the middle and Pinzu as well.
Yeah. Sakuragawa's hand looking kind of good too.
Sozu
Too
connected
bad.
there. So.
Yeah, Arisawa and Fujikawa both look like they have a little bit of clutter they got to get rid of first. A little spring cleaning for the hand. But the other players are quick. Sugano and Sakuragawa look to be the ones that are probably going to be fighting this hand. Ooh, taking the Itsu route. Don't need that 1-4 pin, or really the 1 pin acceptance, I guess. Okay, hold on. Arisawa's starting to cook with the draws. Still Ryan Shanten, but that one will help. But oh my goodness. Sugano, perfect Penchon fill-in, draws 7 mon. Really just a breath away from this Itsu. With Sakuragawa looking to follow back up as Arisawa finds Ishanten.
Sakuragawa is like a tongue twister in itself. It's a really long name with a lot of
Yep.
it's a lot more
Yep.
what do you call it? What do you call it when you clap them?
Syllables.
Yes, syllables. I was mixing up with syllabary. Syllables.
Syllabary something.
No,
There's an
syllabary is
S in there. There's L's in there. There's like a B in the middle. I don't know.
so in Japanese, like the syllabary is like instead of letters,
Yeah.
they have syllables. So like yeah,
It's all like
mix
2-letter
up those words.
combinations. Besides
Yep.
Su, Zu, and Chi. We
Yeah, it's still
don't
only
count those ones. But most of the time it's like, consonant vowel. Oh, and we were tenpai on the sheep. Just a pinfu, I believe. So that should be pinfu sumo.
Yeah.
That is going to be Arisawa, if I'm not tweaking.
Yes, that is Arisawa.
Yes, Arisawa. Collecting all the points in the middle, as well as that hand, which I'm assuming is the reason why the Dama. And again, Arisawa, like you were talking about, really just needs those first. Like whoever gets first is the most benefited by a lot. A high chance to even move up with how close the scores are. And that's why we see, like, even with a strong weight like that, what I would consider a very strong weight, just the Dama to make sure you secure the points, because that 5K is worth its weight in gold, especially when people are playing so defensively right now. As we go on to Fujikawa's dealership to round out our East round. This is looking like it might be kind of scrappy. Everyone's got some interesting things, although point of contention looks like Fujikawa and Sugano, Mochi Mochi, locked up on those green dragons. They both have a pair. It'll be interesting to see if one opens up, if they will go Autozuke, and if the other will try and fold off on that pair. Although I can't imagine with how these players are playing, they'd do that. They're definitely willing to prioritize a closed hand, just play dragons as pairs, not try and Yakuai out like a Honitsu angle or something like that.
Yeah, it's definitely not true for all the players in this league, but the ones we've been watching today, for sure, it's
Yeah.
been a lot of focus on closed hands. And there are, I mean, some players are really comfortable with playing Atozuke or backdooring into the Yaku, and some players really just aren't. They really need to have
Yeah.
their Yaku
Play
decided.
play passive, just make sure you're guaranteed on it. Ooh, and a Chun pair up. That's gonna be big. We saw Sakuragawa, I believe, call for that Chun earlier. Or call for that West, and now needs the Chun. Nope, never mind. We're Honitsu Tenpai. Never mind. We'll just take our cheap Bakahon. I believe it's gonna be 2K locked loaded. I don't think there was a Dora worked into that. Oh my goodness, what a hand that is. As Sugano is trying their hardest to get into a Chitoi Tenpai. Tuso is Tenpai on the board. Oh, and it gets paired up. Hold on, this might save it. We can play 4-mon. That gives us a lot of options. We still get our Chitoi, which is kind of weird. Yeah, we can play 5-mon, 3-mon. Still keeps our shape good. And we're going Honitsu with 3 pairs. Funny enough, 2 of them are locked into other people's hands as pairs. Cannot imagine any situation those players would drop them. Seems very unlikely. And a chi is going to happen. We're going to look for some quick cheap points, and that's going to lock in those Tusos. Assuming that we're not scared off from Sugano's chi there. If players read it correctly as a Honitsu. Might decide Tuso going to be a lot safer than any of these Pinzu.
It's also an outside hand
Uh,
for
no,
Sugano.
6-pin?
Huh?
Was 6-pin
It's
chi?
789. It's 789.
It was 7-8-9. You're right.
Yep.
I am confusing the hands together. 8-pin. So yeah, that's Honitsu, Chanta, Yakuhai 1 at least. That's Mongon guaranteed. Getting both Yakuhais would not upgrade value. But problem is, Sugano might not get either. Because again, red's paired up, green's paired up in other hands. South, not a Yakuhai.
Arisawa is gonna take Tenpai here. Wait, he chooses the Shabo. Wait, the 2 for it. For a Tanyo hand. She's the one who had the 6-7-8. Arisawa.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, just Tanyo no Mi, but again, in first place, you're more than willing to confirm that. Oh, and we're going to see a Chi. We're going to switch. We want those tunes. We want that San Menchan chance. This Tuso not coming out. Something's weird with it.
Sakuragawa also with the flush.
Open a South for Tenpai. Tunes greens.
It's a tough spot for Fujikawa playing against nobody's reach, but basically you're playing against 3 reach players.
Yeah. Tenpais are assured. Luckily, the door has been coming out. So Arisawa doesn't have to sweat that 8-so too badly. Sugano has been pushing those out of the way for it. Is 8-9 going to come out? Nope. We're going to check our 2-mon.
Yeah, she can't discard Manzu against Sakuragawa.
Oh,
But
and
Arisawa
last
draws
Tuso,
it.
I believe. Very, very cheap. Tanya Nomi. But again,
Yeah, just
gets us in the South round. We're still in first. The margin's growing. 17K, good lead.
oh, I have to apologize. The allergies today are the hay fever. It's
Mm.
cedar. The Japanese cedar pollen today is apparently so strong that it is seeped into every crack that may exist in my house.
Well, naturally, it knew you were commentating. So it said, hey, they put out a memo. They said, this is the day to do it. We're in for trading gens.
I found the memo actually. You can look up like what days is strong. Today is the strongest for cedar and hinoki. Hinoki's white cedar, I think.
I'm just
so
glad.
maximum for cedar and second to maximum for hinoki.
I'm glad my area has not had pollen yet. We're getting close. Any week now, it'll just start to be hell, and cars will become like yellow. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
not
It's probably
quite.
gonna happen today here. Cypress, not white cedar. Sorry, cypress, cedar and cypress today.
So Sakuragawa in the dealer seat looks to be Ishanten. Although is going to get beaten out by Sugano's Riichi. Another super quick one. That's going to be 1
Yeah.
4-pin and then something else, right?
It's turn 3. That's so fast. And look at this hand for Sakuragawa.
Yeah, it pushes Sakuragawa back a little bit because now she's worried about dealing into that Riichi. Yeah, 9-so,
Just the
1
1 4.
4-pin.
Yeah.
What a premium for a turn 3. Goodness. Normally 1 4 is good enough. You add 9-sos as an off.
Yeah, you really want that 9 so this time because you're using 3 of your winning tiles just with the 4 dots and 2 more with the 9s, but
Yeah. Oh, in the 4-5 drawing, we got decision. Sakuragawa's gonna want to push. She willing to cut the Manzu. The Manzu's scary. You could cut 2-pin here. Potentially. Or yeah, you could cut 8 with double 7. That makes sense too. It's probably more logical than whatever I was saying. On a second little look-see. Everyone else has got some Dora, like Teresa
Dora,
there,
but really,
Sakuragawa's in the pilot seat. Yeah, no one's got like really good in like aggressive counter Riichi hands. Yeah, we see Sakuragawa tanking.
Yeah, the half Suji.
Yeah. I mean, again, you're a dealer. Your dealer, it's getting down. Like, there's only so many hands left. Plus 138 is starting to look a little scary. So, especially if your two peers pass you, then that's going to be a big deal. $5 out. Could buy a little bit of flexibility for Sakuragawa. Draw like 4-7, so you could play like 5 mon and then check the 8 later. Doesn't look like anybody else is going to be putting up a fight. Arisawa's hands too far off, and it doesn't matter. Sumo. It's sumo.
Sumo. That's it. 500, 1,000.
Nothing.
Very low
Just a little
scoring
bit on
hands for this
top.
game so far.
Yeah, besides Arisawa's. Did Arisawa? No, I don't even think Arisawa hit a Mongon. I think she just collected a bunch of reach sticks.
It's 1,600,
All at the same time.
3,200.
Yeah. The reverse death by 1,000 cuts of everybody else sumoing 100 times and just winning by 1,000 cuts.
Oh my god, my RML games went 2 games with many reaches and 0 wins.
Yeah.
For 2 entire games yesterday. That's exactly what it felt like.
I had in my final session, the first 2 games, when I was getting in Doomer mode, I watched Jay win more E-Pot sumos in 2 games than I won hands. And I was like, oh, guess I'm kissing A1 goodbye. Guess there that goes.
Well, you'll take my A2 spot. I like the letter B better anyway.
I brought it back. We're still there. I hung on by a thread. I'm guaranteed to stay.
Oh, nice, nice.
Next season we'll crash out though. I'm feeling it. I'm gonna start putting it in the calendar now. And as it looks like who's that? Sugano? Is it opened up, looking to take a quick win? I believe with at least one Dora. Or did Sugano have Dora pair too?
I think it's even in second place. Sugano will stay in first place overall. So
yeah, she's fine doing the quick win. And yes, no Dora, just quick open up, call the Yakuai, play your shape, collect 2K and go, or even collect 1K and go. Yeah, nobody's else's hands are really that aggressive. Ooh, I say until the 4, so that was the hang up. So now all of a sudden Arisawa's kicking up the gas. Looking to blast off, match Sugano's speed. So coming out, it's gonna get pawns. Inching closer to Tenpai, safe south too. I'm not gonna do it.
yeah, it looks like it's gonna end up being a Tanyao hand.
Yeah. Ooh, 5-pin. Hold on. Sakuragawa's trying to do something. How successful? Who knows? Or Fujikawa, I believe.
Yeah, Arisawa, I think it's gonna be an inside hand. Sakuragawa just has nothing. It's pretty much out. Sugano, it's now Tenpai with the green dragon. Yeah, open-ended weight. Open-ended and not really like a lot of flags marked for that weight either.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it is cheap, so whoever deals
There
into
it
it
is.
is still going to be
Yep, Arisawa
raising
dealer
one.
deals in. Just
Which
1,000
honestly,
points.
Arisawa's probably fine with dealing in for 1,000. Says I would have taken more on a sumo. Sugano's willing to play back, so I don't have to
Yeah,
worry about her chasing something big.
Arisawa still remains in first place even with that. So now she's gonna be looking for those cheap, quick wins to just try and move the dealership to the last hand.
Yeah, I'm unsure if 138 is going to be enough to break through on this spread. Like I could see her
Yeah,
try and get another 10 or like 10K maybe. Fish for a manga and play a little bit aggressive for it if it comes, but
yeah, so after this game, 2 players move up and 2 players will move down, and we'll have 1 table left. Just the last 4 players will play,
yeah.
and only the first place player will move on from there.
Mhm.
At this point, Arisawa can see, even if she can't tell what's happening at the other table, that she is still ahead of Sakuragawa and Fujikawa overall. So she definitely won't be eliminated
Yeah,
if the
she's
game
not
were to end right
eliminated.
now.
But
Right.
again, going to be easier than taking top 1 at the next table. It might be
Yeah,
easier to
definitely.
push advantage here.
And like we said a second ago, if you take all the players in the middle, their scores are going to be really close. So probably the last game will end up being just the winner of that game takes all.
Yeah. With how these are averaging out, you might buy yourself a 5 or 10 point gap, but especially with Oka,
Yeah, with
it's going to
Oka,
be
it just
so
doesn't
hard.
matter.
Yeah. Sugano, good hand shape. Not much to do with it. Oh, wow. But yeah, Fujikawa's quick. Fujikawa needs points, though. Fujikawa might
definitely
have
needs,
to bring that down to
yeah.
Chitoy or something.
I mean, she does have the option to go for a cheaper win in this hand to
And
aim
then
for
run
her
it up on the
dealer
dealer.
turn. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just to keep Sugano from getting a bigger lead on her.
Yeah, that's definitely a thought. I'm just wondering what the cap of this hand is, because like in a desperation situation, which I don't know if I would call it that yet, or in a non-desperation situation, I think you could do that. But I'm almost wondering if this hand's worth it enough that like this is the one you want to max, and then try and get like a second. Because even like Fujikawa takes a second or something here, then she's guaranteed to move in to at least the next stable.
Yeah,
It's really
yeah,
this
yeah.
fourth that's hurting her right now. So, especially if you can buy yourself like folding out to the final table or folding out in the final hand.
Ooh, Arisawa, look at that. 1 away for
You
either,
pick all.
all pairs
I'm
or an
dropping 6 mon.
Ipeiko normal hand.
Yeah, I'm drawing 6 mon. I got that Dora 1 mon draw. I got that 3 mon draw that lets me play Dora. I got that round Peiko 4-so, 6-so. Ryan might
And
be
this
coming at
is
them.
actually 2 away for Arisawa. It looks really good, but the 6 makes it 2 away, and something like the 5 would have been nicer, or anything in the other suits that would stick to what she's got.
Doesn't upgrade. Which ends up creating more problems without solving any efficiency ones.
That's a little bit
That
better
comes
than
out.
the last 6. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's important.
Oh, and
Now we are
that's
going to see Tenpai
Tenpai for
2-5,
Fujikawa.
so
So she's taking Tenpai with just kind of the cheap.
yeah.
Oh, there's Tenpai as
Oh,
well. Arisawa, another cheat weights hand. But this one
well,
is a
it could be
significantly
normal.
worse weight.
Could be. Well, we could play 4-2 mon. We could also drop 6-so and fish for like a 3 mon or something for Jan Pega Dama on 4-so. A lot
it's
of
tough
options.
to-
Yep. And look what we're doing. We want it.
The
We
thing
want
is,
those 3s.
she won with both of those shapes already in this game. So she did have the Chitoitsu at the beginning of the game. And then she also won with a 2-4 Shaboi in the bamboos later.
So she's already burnt it for all of them. Is she gonna take the 9? No.
Or
Too much
she
discarded.
knows that she's capable of winning both of them.
She knows they're good. It's a hot weight. It's ready to go.
We were talking yesterday about commentators having a half full cup instead of a half empty cup.
I'm always half empty. I've been dusted by the wall too many times. That's
So
how
you
I
have
always assume.
maybe Arisawa has not.
Arisawa's still got life behind her eyes. She's still got
Maybe,
optimism
yeah.
on the table.
No, Arisawa has been around for quite a while in the pro scene. I worked with her at a parlor about 12 years ago, 12 or 13 years ago. So we've been in the community for a pretty similar length of time. Ooh, nice 6 character fill in.
7. Oh, and it's
That
just
is
gonna
a
take that
reach,
combine the
waiting
2.
for the middle 2. Just reach Dora for that hand, no other Yaku. Already saw it can change her weights, but
So
everything's dangerous. Everything's
you're gonna play the
scary.
5 so. We can drop the 4 so. Redrop the 3. 5 so's have Suji. There's 2 6s. I really don't like 3-6. I think that's all I'm on. Oh no, is
She can
Arisawa? Yep,
fold.
Arisawa was gone.
She's first
Arisawa is
place.
first, yeah.
She doesn't have to battle against last place right now, right here.
Yeah.
It would be a problem if Sakuragawa was like reach with, Hanemon or something, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a cheap hand, so it turns out to be correct from our perspective.
Yeah, and Arisawa they're debating on whether to throw the guaranteed 8 or this north. Decides that there are more K10 routes on that north. You never know if something's gonna come out. You have to push, or maybe
And
trying to
there
get someone to
is the
push something.
2.
2 by Fujikawa, correct?
Yes. It looked like it.
And this is gonna be bad. This
Yes,
is gonna be
yes.
real tough for Fujikawa.
Yeah, pushes her way down into last place. She's a dealer, so she has the potential to win 1.5 times for any 1.5 times the score as the non-dealers for any winning hand.
Mm-hmm.
And also has the opportunity to continue
Can
as dealer.
repeat, yeah.
Yeah, but you got to get there, and we have at least. Well, first, Arisawa is definitely going to be going for any cheap hand that she can.
Yeah.
And probably Sugano as well with 165 points. She's
Still, yeah, a good chance of being guaranteed. And I mean, she's only 1K, less than 1K off Sakuragawa too. So especially with that that Uma bonus by passing her, she's got to figure that's plenty.
Yeah, the Umas are pretty interesting with the Oka. So if you're in first place, you get plus 40 points. In second place, you only get plus 10. So there's a 30-point difference just in the placing bonuses between first and second place. Second and third place only has a 20-point difference with plus 10 and minus 10. And actually, third and fourth place only has a 10-point difference. So it's like, it's a
Very odd
gradation, yeah.
thing, yeah.
When you're comparing it to like the WRC rules where each place has an equal difference from first to second, second to third, and third to fourth.
Everybody's doing a bit of weirdness right now. From the looks of it.
I
Everyone's
mean, it's just so many
well, not
pairs.
yeah.
Pairs make for weird hands, no matter what.
Oh, okay. Never mind. We got the makings of a somewhat normal hand. I'd imagine 9 so here. Yep, we'll fish Tanya route.
And that's also the thing when you have pairs and you make it into like the 3-shape structure, the 3-tile structure.
Yeah.
For the reinforcements for those poor shapes, and it can turn really good really fast.
Ooh, Ishanten. Okay, Fujikawa looking to extend us. Get at least one more round in.
Trying to decide what to do about that penchon, the pair plus the penchon that gets in the way of her.
Gonna throw 3 mon.
I think maybe she's
Fishing for
thinking
Ipako, fishing some more value?
possible Ipeko on the 2, 3, 4 dot with the extra 4,
Yeah.
and also the 9 is going to be safer to throw away later, so she keeps the 3 tile structure that we were talking about a second ago.
Mm-hmm.
And she
Yeah, I
also
guess
kept
could
the
also draw
3,
around 3 mon.
yeah, in case she can get something to stick to it.
Play this like a floater or something. Yeah, Sakuragawa was trying to hedge something, looking to build that higher value Honitsu route. Try and get something going there. Sugano's playing that like Honitsu type ship. Oh, not Tenpai anymore. I guess it wasn't anyway.
I think that there's to be a tempo with a 4 dot and 8 bamboo weight, like a shabo weight.
No, because it's 3 pairs.
She needed to
Yeah,
fill
because it
in
was 3
the
months.
6
Yeah.
9. Yeah,
So I guess no harm, no foul in
there's
those
1
threes.
away.
Is gonna
Yeah.
keep that Shaba though, playing the like 8-8-9.
And that might also have been effective. She might have thought that having a shabo weight, she would prefer to have the 8 bamboo instead of the 3 character. Yeah, and then now she can reinforce that
Yeah.
pair of 4s like we were talking about, so with 5 dot acceptance.
Yeah, Sakuragawa, Ishanten on Chitoi looking to fish a Dora. We have 10, not quite Tenpai, almost Tenpai for Sugano too on that Yakahai Honitsu. Probably not seeing the tunes ever, if I had to take a honest guess. Ooh, and we'll hit a Riichi. Arisawa's fighting 6-9 pin. Which, speaking of, 9 pin could be a little bit loose in that hand. Oh, and it's gonna come out immediately.
And
Fujikawa, who needed
and
to
the
fight.
game.
Yep.
Arisawa was successful in just making the quick hand, but it was worth a lot.
Yeah, but Ichipat's Dora, maybe something like that.
Yeah, Mangon plus the reach stick comes back, so it showed up as 9,000. Third place Sugano, minus 15.3, and last place Fujikawa.
Yeah,
And that was a rough.
Fujikawa knows it too. That was a rough one.
And it's just, I think she must be exhausted today after.
Yeah.
I mean, we said before the Sankei Shimbun kept games. Generally, you're only playing a maximum of 3 games a day, and this is a maximum of 6 games. So
Yeah.
I think it might be. I mean, it's a disadvantage to come in later, like coming into the 3rd game or the 2nd game instead. But you don't have the exhaustion from the first 2 games, so it could be a benefit in some ways.
Blessing
as well.
in disguise, yeah.
All right, so I think we can take a look at the what the effect of this game's scores had on everybody's standings. We have results from game 5 for both tables.
Let's check a look.
There it is.
Bam!
Sugano took first place overall from that, even minus 15.3.
Oh my goodness. There was apparently at the other table a mass murder. We have a plus 77.7.
Yeah, Yukiko Izumi just.
Yeah,
and you don't see
blew
scores like that
everybody
very
away.
often. That does happen, but.
Yeah, Arisawa had one of the bigger scores that I feel like I've seen just with commentating this cup.
I'm sorry, I
it's
just
40
totally
points more.
misread that. Yeah, Sugano did not take. She went in first place. She got minus 15.3, so she did drop down in the score, but she's still
second place overall though.
So Izumi just took over her first place, so we can see how that affected the scores. 3rd place and 4th place both got big negatives. And Fujikawa,
Ueno. It looks like Ueno may have even dealt in like a Yakuman or something. She got a minus 70, so either that or just having to fight and getting Mangan and Hanemon down.
Basically, she funded Izumi's
Mhm.
rise to first place.
Yeah.
So Yukiko Izumi and Mayu Sugano will move on to the finals. Unfortunately, Mayu Fujikawa and Aimi Ueno, we did get to see Ueno play one game, and we saw Fujikawa play 4 games, and this will end their run with us here. So we will have only 4 players going into the last game. Yeah, what did you think? What do you think of this format?
It's very interesting. It's very different. I don't necessarily hate it, although it does feel like you just take a 4th and you're out. But especially with everything leading up to it, it feels like you have a bit more breathing room. You know who I'm curious to get the opinion of this format, Jen? I'm curious to hear what our new commentators, returning Nathanael and new Corak coming, Arthur. I'm curious what you guys think on this format, as you will be finishing us off and seeing the end of it for today.
Yeah, I've given my thoughts before. I am curious to hear what Corak has to say, though, because we're going down to 4 players. Only 4 players remain, 1 table.
And it's top 1 that passes this time, right? No top 2, just whoever gets past
3
post.
players eliminated. It's the last game of the playoffs, and only 1 player can survive. I was looking when I was making all of these charts and things. It's like something like 29 or 30 players make it. 30 something, 32, somewhere between there. But 21 players move on, so it's all of this pomp and circumstance to eliminate a third of the field, basically.
Yeah, my view on it is pretty similar to that. It seems overly complex for what you're trying to do. That if we want to take just a bottom half and work from there and see if they can make a run, then sure. As is, I feel there's just a little too much of the shifting. I understand to give as many people a chance as possible, but I don't like rules that I can't explain in 10 seconds. I just don't.
Well, the rules are very simple for the final round. There's only 4 players. Whoever has the highest score at the end of this game will win.
And yeah, like we said before, they're so close that it's basically whoever takes first place. But I think before we actually look at the 4 players standings going in, we do have one video from a player who advanced yesterday in round 2. One of my favorite players and someone I played in League with a lot as well. So let's take a look at her selfie report.
日本プロ麻雀連盟麻雀堺チームの藤井彩香です。予選最終節にトップを取れれば個人プレーオフに行けそうということで、チームメイトの2人に行っておいでと言っていただき、8万点のトップを取れて個人戦プレーオフが決まり、チームもワイルドカードで準々決勝進出ができました。私の個人戦はチームメイトの2人が背中を押してくれたから実現しているので、チームで戦う気持ちで個人戦ファイナルも勝ちたいと思います。応援よろしくお願いいたします。
Alright. Sayaka Fuji playing for Team Sankei. So noticing all these patterns in the names.
Yeah, as we noted, Izumi as well with a huge win to qualify to the finals. It was Fuji who had a huge win, a pair of excellent games at the end of regulation. And we actually broadcast that game. So I know she mentioned that in her video, but if you want to see how she scored all of those points, I think, Corak, you were commentating that game.
Yep.
And she absolutely ran up the score at the end to qualify for the individual playoffs and also get her team into that playoff spot as well. So fantastic job by her.
A testament to this massive Oka-Uma combination for first places. All right. And yep, that's it for Harrison and I. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Good luck in the next one.
All right, well, let's take a look at the players and then jump into the action.
Yep, as a reminder for the viewers, we are down to the final four. So these are the players. This is the current standings before the game begins. 149.9 for Tanabe, Anisawa at 146.1, Sakuragawa at 142.7, Watanabe a little bit farther down at 124.7, but three players at the top, very close in standing. So between the three of them, it seems like the first place winner will get the top spot. And if
Well, when you
Watanabe,
talk about the Oka bonus, it doesn't matter. Win and you're in.
Yeah.
That's enough.
and Watanabe, if she gets the first place, it could be a little bit closer depending on what type of first place it is with that gap. So things will be quite exciting indeed. And to take a look at the players, in the East seat will be Moe Tanabe, representing Team Jankatsu Master and NPM Pro. In the South seat, Nao Arisawa. Oh, sorry, this is the game before. But yes, Arisawa representing Team MPM as well. In the West seat, Himeko Sakuragawa. Again, we have the two map players on the same table. A JPML Pro. And in the North seat, Miki Watanabe. For Team Mango, JPML Pro. And that being said, we have nothing left to do but to hop into game number 3 itself.
All right. Well, as I mentioned, did some quick math while the names were going out. And yes, any first is enough because first is 2010 Uma with 5 Oka. So it means there's a minimum 30 gap between first and second, which would be enough.
Okay. Math complete. Win and in. And what do you think that's going to change in terms of how the players approach this game?
Well, I don't think it changes much in the East round, but you get some more positional play, especially if you lose your last dealer, where you might see some desperation plays.
Very good.
Ooh, I like this hand. Pair of Hatsu, pair of One-So, pair of 4-pin, pair of Non. Can go Toy, can even go Chi-Toy with that. Certainly a nice little Pinzu shape here. This is a nice little Pinfu hand. A couple Kanchan, though. Maybe a 2, 3, 4 Sanjaku. I know you're always biased that way.
Absolutely.
Shoot is a floater. We'll see. Okay, gets rid of the East here. Not completely giving up on a regular type hand, but likely the Yakuhai at some point. 7, so not a really good draw here, but it does give Sanjaku. So yeah, just cut the 1 for now. You're planning to cut at the 7. At least hedge the 79 Sanjaku for a while. 2-pin turns into a Penchon. 1 Mon doesn't really do much here. 7-pin's a great draw. Look at this shape.
Wait, a necessary draw. Whenever I see that 9886, it desperately needs that 7-pin.
Well, it needs 2 of them is the problem. So you're halfway there. Well, 3-So is a great pull here, but definitely cheapens the hand. Sanjaku's out now. Tanya's probably out. Maybe a door, but you don't have a pair, and right now your pair is 7-mon.
Yeah, that's a 6-pin, so we could switch this
6-pin.
around.
Oh, we could Ipeko. I'd cut the 3 in a second here. Can also go with the 9. But I like the 3 because there are some Honitsu routes in this hand. There are better Ipeko routes. 1-So it sends us to a 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll keep the floating 4 over the floating 7. 3 is the perfect draw. Now Ishanten still has that Dora. May end up cutting the Penchon later. Now I have a South Anko, so the hand's getting cheaper. 3-mon, just drew it last turn, drew it back. Wouldn't even that throw with Chicho in this situation. Ooh, 3-So's a nice pull there. Turns it into Rionman with a 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. 4 doesn't do anything. The 3 extends the 4-4 shape here. So you'd love Toy, but it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. Oh, 7, there it is. Riichi. Ooh, you have a bunch of options here. You could even go Chi-Toy if you cut the 6-So. But I would absolutely slam with this 9-pin. This is a Riichi Ipeko. You're waiting at 8-pin, 5-pin, and Sha.
It's such a pretty weight. It's hard to let that go, but is the Chi-Toy going to be worth more here? I guess Riichi Chi-Toy versus Riichi Ipeko with a really pretty weight.
Yeah, it's value versus weight quality.
And the 9-pin...
Now, the 9-pin is not a bad tile because you see all the 7s here. That would be the argument for the Chi-Toy. But yeah, just goes with the obvious one. This is a shape a lot of people mess up on because you don't realize it's Ipeko, but it's always Ipeko, no matter what you draw. Haku's going to be safe on the Ipatsu turn and cleared already, so not much there. And gets the Sha Ipatsumo. And a Ipeiko, that's just going to be Mongon, but a great start here for Arisawa, going to jump into that first place. And as mentioned, it's winning in.
But surely you feel a little bit sad when you see the 9-pin come out on Ippatsu turn, but that was a defensive 9-pin, right? You'd much rather Sumo get the Yaku, and it doesn't matter as long as it's Ippatsu one way or the other. Still,
Well,
huge.
Riichi Ippatsu Chitoid be 64. Yeah, the Sumo there is 8K, so I think that's more. Again, try to do math on stream, always going to result in pain, but I'm pretty confident on that one.
Yeah. Best result for Arisawa there. And again, as you said, winning in perfect start.
Ooh, 567 Sanjuku looking very good with that. Oh, the East Onko. The question is, how greedy do you want to be with this hand? 6-pin is Dora, so it'd be real nice to pull that in. The 1-pin kind of moves toward Chanta Junshan, maybe Sanjuku in there. The 8-pin now an Onko, but feels slow. The 8-pin here gives a possible 7, 8, 9 Sanjuku as a different round instead of the 5, 6, 7, depending on what gets drawn later. The 3 is a nice fill there. The 5 connects to the 6. The 1 so connects to the 2, so that's actually a decent draw here, but it's just the hand is still a bit of a mess. 8 Mon is now paired up. You have 3 pairs here, so you can at least hedge a bit by just getting rid of that safe honor. 2 Mon not going to be used, just keeping the Ishunten here. There's a Dora draw. Not only gives value, but increase the... Oh, there's 3 so. Fills in that penchant.
These hands have been dramatically improving each draw. Maybe the first Sumogiri we've seen in a while from Sakuragawa. That's another 9-pin fill, so maybe even Sanjuku here.
Ooh, 9 Mon. Yeah, nice fill.
Yeah,
we'll need
9
a
Mon.
pair somewhere, though. That's the problem. Ooh, ew. I want to throw it back. Yeah, okay, gets rid of it. You still want to be able to accept this Dora.
Right. Tiles away from Tenpai there. Tanabe.
1 pin's going to be a miss. 4. Looked at it a little longer. I thought it was better tile than the 4, but that just has to go back.
Especially when we've got the 2 Mon already.
Right. You're a bit regretting the Ipeiko. Could I have done this any differently? And the answer is probably, but you're here now. And it was the right play at the time. Ooh, 6. Interesting. We'll go ahead and shift this down to possible 6, 7, 8 songs. Now I can use the 9 so as a pair, I think is the big reason behind that cut.
Exactly. You were saying even before, and 7, 8, 9 is hard because the 9 so was a pseudo pair in the hand, but now 6, 7, 8 fixes that issue.
And gets 3 so, not going to help. Not also going to take the Ryonkon with the 7, 5, 3.
Tenpai.
3 pin, now you can just pair up, but that's not great. The plan here is likely cut one so.
Yeah, we're going to see Sakuragawa.
Oh, there's your Ipeiko fill. Now headless.
Dama from Sakuragawa on the 6-pin Dora. With the
And
East.
as mentioned, there goes that 1 so. It is not Tenpai, but this certainly is on the Dora. Not going to Riichi here. And I'm sure this will not come as a surprise to you, but I would not take a half second to slam that.
No, of course. Well known for your Riichi decisions. In this case, the upgrades aren't even that amazing because the 8-pin draws will be 50-10. Of course, remember that early 9-pin. And the 4-pin draw would be excellent. We could grab that, but...
Well, I feel your big upgrade is 7-pin for a Shimbun, but the Shimbun's worse than this Dora weight. This should just be a slide with 1. Okay, can go Tanyao still. The idea is cut the 3-pin if you can get a 4 Mon and a 7 or 4 Mon. Like that one. You're like, can I just have that?
Dora,
oh, well, no, not going to happen.
especially she has an easy shift to incorporate the Dora, exchanging the 3, 5, 5, 6 Mon for a similar shape in the Pinzu.
6 so isn't going to do anything. 4 so isn't going to do anything. It's a matter of who can get out of this situation. Still Ishanten.
Everyone looking for
3
pin
pin.
tiles. It's not better than the
Ugh.
6 pin, surely.
Yeah. Unless you can really set up some sort of trap. Well, that's a Dora pair, so I think you're done here. This is one where I might cut 9 mon. Yeah. This might cause a Dora to come out if you do draw the 5. Because then you'd have Sanshoku Dora.
It does feel worth it to try, although we're running out of tiles. Maybe you would... Oh. Alright, she waited long enough.
Okay, she's done. Like, okay, I've tried.
And
but
so
no.
is everybody else.
This actually keeps Ishanten. I'm just going to chi here to get to Tempai. There's no Yaku here.
Arisawa not content to just let her dealership pass here.
Looks like a 1 mon. It is. That doesn't help. Got thrown last turn. You have to throw it, don't you?
Also broke Ipatsu with a
Doing
call,
pretty
so...
safe. There's the 7 close, but that's not it. 3 doesn't do anything. So we're just going to have 2 players Tempai here. And see the hand, the Dora weight with the East. And, of course, the big Ipeiko that never got there, but just called it down for Tempai payments. It doesn't matter how pretty your hand is at the end. It's just whether it's Tempai or not.
1 Riichi stick, 1 Honba, and a continuance now for dealer Arisawa.
Yeah, Arisawa gets another chance here. Looks like a fairly standard Pinfu hand. Not great, not terrible. Has a Dora, but it's part of a 1-2-4-5 shape where the 1 is the Dora. 7 shows an amazing draw to start the hand up. Possible Itsu, possible Sanshoku. The 7 so there connects in the Sozu shape. The 9 shows a bit of a miss, but we'll hold it in a very distant 7-8-9 Sanshoku. 8 pin's a nice pair up, but still a long way to go. Really need a 3 pin to move that hand. Hatsu just going to switch out the dragons here. 5 pin upgrades this Ryonkon, get rid of the 9-so. 6-0 pair up, but this hand has too many pairs. Yeah, just get rid of the south. There's a Tanya route eventually if you just want to cut Dora.
Sakuragawa faced with this awkward 4-6-8-so shape, along with the 7-8-9 that was already in hand now.
2-3-4-4 shape, potential 4-pin pair, and can use a Dora. Oh, 6 connects nicely there. The 1-2-4-5-6. I said needed a 3-pin. Well, it still needs a 3-pin. Oh, and the 5. Interesting. Now you just use the 4-5. Definitely more towards Tanya. 1 mon will be held. There's a distant Itsu here, but the rest of the blocks don't really look like it's going that way. This is now Ishanten for potential Riichi Dora 1. 3 connects nicely with the 4. Advances the hand. 4 mon pairs up. Gets a little closer. The south doesn't do anything, though. And the Anko of the 8-pin. This is an interesting type of hand shape because there is a very difficult Itsu route where you end up using the 8 as a pair. Now we see a Dora pull in. Can end up using the 4 as a pair or a 1-2-3-4-5.
I feel like the Itsu probably isn't going to come to fruition. Most likely you just draw your pair first and slam a Riichi. Hopefully it's the 1
head
pin.
to it as long as possible.
If you draw a 2-pin, you're a little sad, but at least you get Tanya out of it.
I'd be fine. I don't care about the Dora. Again, there's 13 in the middle. It's Tanya. It's callable. We have our Riichi. It's good. 1 mon pair up. Advance the hand a little bit. 2-pin pair. Well, there you go. Riichi Tanya. 4-7 mon.
Instant slam.
Yeah, the more I look at that, I'm not sad about that at all.
We get to count the 4s. Oh, there's 4 of them already. 3 in this hand. And 2 of the 7s. So 6 out.
Gets a 3, so not going to help.
No defensive task for the remaining players. This hand was Ishanten, but dealer Riichi.
Not a great one. Yeah, even so, is Ishunten for at best Riichi Pinfu. Well, that moves the hand. It's Ishunten if taken, but isn't going to. It allows a shift for any Peiko, but probably just folding at this point. I feel everyone's basically to fold a dealer here. The concern, though, is, as mentioned, it's winning in. You don't want someone getting out way out in front of everyone.
Right, but are you going to take the responsibility of shutting that down? It seems if you deal in, then you are going to
Your
be...
tournament's probably over.
Right. It's only East 2 as well, so maybe some time to hope for Ryukyoku, or maybe allow Arisawa to Tsumo and hope that on your own dealerships you get a chance to come back.
I always feel these are my toughest positions because my instinct is always you have to shut this down, especially when the pawn doesn't give you a ton of info.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're folding your best, you might still deal in just due to lack of information. So at that point, is it better to fold or to just fight?
Or just keep drawing 1-1. That helps that hand get out.
Infinite save tiles.
But it feels like everyone's trying to fold. The question is, can you get there? That is not Tempai.
Tanabe with not many options. Her hand's actually probably closest to fighting, so...
Oh, close, but that's not it. Gets the 6, needs the 4-7. 9's already cleared, not a concern. 5-1 pair out, back door to an Ipeco. A second Dora clears.
At least that makes you feel a little bit...
It was safe, but yeah, it's one of those, okay, maybe the dealer has like Riichi Pinfu Tanyao, which isn't great to deal in, and is absolutely terrible if there's an aura, but you can consider pushing. It just, I don't think these hands don't have it, especially third row at this point.
Finally, the door comes out.
Trying to get to this Chitoi. It's Ishunten, but not there yet. Another 3-so. 3 of those in the pond in a nice vertical order.
We'll just fold away. We are approaching the end of the round. At this point, you're really hoping that you can find Ryukyoku, that everyone's just collecting all the deal-in tiles, and that Anisawa won't advance too far ahead of the rest of the pack. So Anisawa's hoping for that one last chance.
Tanava definitely has all the deal-in tiles. 3 of them, and they're the floaters in the hand.
It will go to Ryukyoku. Not enough tiles in the wall for the Tsumo. 2 players Tempai,
You get
though.
the Chitoi on the last turn, so 2 players Tempai.
And this is a big deal. These small Tempai payments. So far, Arisawa has benefited the most. She's been Tempai in both hands that went to an exhaustive draw. However, Watanabe and Sakuragawa have both been Tempai once in those, so they have a bit of an advantage now over Tanabe.
And the thing is, when you manage to sneak in that Tempai at the last second, not only do you close the gap, but it means Arisawa doesn't go plus 3,000 for the hand.
That's another huge part of this. That keeps her still within range, but she has dealership again. 2 Homebot, 2 Riichi sticks. So we're at 8-pin.
I like what I see so far, including that Dora. Was that a second Dora? Can't see. The hand is in front of the hand. Okay, no, it's a Penchon. Does have the Hatsu pair. This is very much a call and go. You have 2 sticks, 2 Homba, a Dora. Not too much to worry about. 7 fills in the 668. So I think you just play efficiently. I would cut Haku. You really want to pair the Haku and go, but it's just so unlikely. There are people that would cut a pension here, and that's what's going to happen as the 1. Ooh, this is a nice Lonko with a 9, so maybe Chinitsu, but it feels a long way off. 2-so extends the Sozu shape here. Now 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
If 8-pin wasn't Dora, I could...
Ooh. I feel his hand just when does the Hatsu come out?
Anisawa certainly feels a lot more comfortable opening up here where other players might want to stay close for a big Riichi, even despite the sticks in the middle. Adisawa definitely doesn't mind collecting those with a cheap hand.
Oh, just fill your penchant. So this is Ishan 10, but you have to make a decision. Okay, cuts the 2-so here. Will likely take a Riichi no if it comes. The 8-so fills in the kanchan there. 4-so keeps drawing so tiles, but it probably will not be Chinitsu.
If the Hatsu comes out, she can call. It won't be Tempai.
Yeah, it'll be headless. Well, that's a different pair if you want to use it, but that gets thrown back as well.
Even
Is
so,
that the Haku? No, it's a 1-so. That is now Ishan 10. Actually, a fairly wide Ishan 10. That's also Ishan 10. And there you see the Chi for Tempai. Also Ishan 10. I think everyone's there now.
yeah, really,
7's a miss.
it's very specific
4's a
tiles,
miss.
though.
4's still a miss, but you might switch here with the 2-so just because it's a good floater for a tateniu.
And you're willing to sacrifice
Will
the
do
door
so.
here for the middle tile, for the points in the middle.
Oh, 7's an interesting draw. This is now super wide headless Ishan 10. 6-so, well, that it technically moves you closer, but the shape's terrible. 2-pin, ew.
Just give you alternate
We'll
chi
cut
options.
the 4. Yeah, I have a lot of chi options, but it's a mess. 3-sided Riichi. Riichi Dora 1. The Hatsu never comes, so just said I'll use it myself.
Tempai.
5. This is a Tempai. Riichi Pinfu waiting 3-6. But there's the Ipatsu. Riichi Ipatsu Dora. No Ura, but that's going to be 77 plus all the Riichi 6 and 2 Homba. And I don't want to say it's over, but everyone's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it made so much sense for Sakuragawa to drop the 1-so there for the Pinfu Riichi. And her other option was just a Tonki. So just had to come out. Unfortunately for her, dealt into the dealer once again. Now Homba rising.
3 Homba. Now if you're already saw, you kind of just want to pass the dealer around. If you can run up the score, great, but you're perfectly fine just losing dealer here if that's the situation. As a Haku, though, can only just call this down. This hand's a bit of a discombobulated mess.
2-door, though.
When the two shapes that stick out are a 6-9 and a 5-8, that's never a good feeling. The Dora, though, is very nice. Amon fills the kanchan perfectly. We'll advance the hand.
I'm curious about how Adisawa will play this South Dora in hand, because, as you said, she doesn't really need this dealership. She doesn't need the value that the South can provide. However, if she discards it now, Sakuragawa will pull it.
Yeah, you don't want to get rid of it, but if you get Tempai, you just throw it. I feel that's one of those you just hold as long as you can. Oh, well, doesn't even necessarily need the South. Just use it yourself. Perfect draw there with a Chun pair up. 5 now in Anko. Penshan will get rid of the 5-so to get rid of the 2-3-5 shape. 4 pairs up. Hatsu going to be held back for now at least. Haku is pretty useless, but going to get thrown back. 2 Mon now a pair up, but it doesn't do a lot. You can cut 1 Mon 9-so 9-so. Let's go 9-so first. We're kind of on the same train of thought here. Where there's a Tanya, right? You don't really want to, but it is there. There's a Haku pole, and there goes the South. And that will be called. Possibly even going Toito. Oh, the 7, a perfect draw. Now Ishanten for Riichi Tanyao. See that one of those tunes is being held for now. Ooh, and now we have Tempai on 2-5.
Actually coming fast and furious at this table. Adisawa
There's the 2.
End of the threat. Sakuragawa was
Shuts
posing.
it down, says, give me my 1900. I'm done with this.
Yeah, even up to 24 with all those sticks.
Yeah, because that is dealer, so not the 1000, the 1500 base. I already saw is continuing. I see 4 Homba now.
The advantage continues. And, I mean, as long as you're winning points, you don't mind being the dealer. 5-pin Dora could be exciting.
Above average Pinfu, but you do have that 3-6-9 pin, which isn't great. This looks like a Pinfu type hand as well. It does have 2 pairs, though. This is a traditional Pinfu hand, but a bit of a mess. Might be able to get a Tanya out of it. The 5-so might move this towards Honitsu. Does have the 5-7 though. 3-so connects to the 2, can advance the hand a little bit. Tone just gonna be held. Hope to pair it up later. Chun, same story. And there goes the Hatsu. Gonna hold on to the 5-7-9, so not going fully out on the Honitsu. Probably giving up at this point. 2-3 has the overlap with the 5-6. We'll go ahead and keep it. 4 extends the 3-6. Now 3-4-6. Tumon doesn't do much immediately, but does create a penchant. It's one of those. It's not a great draw. It's better than nothing. Itmon Anko. Now Ishanten. I think you just cut 3-5, don't you? There it is.
Yeah, there's some thoughts of Tanyao, but it will take a while to rebuild there. So, and Tanyao's not even guaranteed after cutting the 9-pin pair. 3-5
Right,
makes sense.
and Ishanten's just strong. I just draw it the next turn. Easy game. Riichi Dora 1.
Sakuragawa doesn't need to get it all back in one go. She can win this hand and then win the next hand, which will be her dealership.
That's not going to do it, though. Tumon moves that hand forward. 5-pin Dora, that's going to be held. That's the end of that hand. Yeah, just this 4-7, and anytime you're throwing anything in the Dora range, you're scared. Ooh, lots of choices. How much are you going to fight this? The answer is, we're going to fight, but not directly. Goes the 1-pin. There are plenty of Tanya routes to Tempai. 3-pin pairs up, but the hand's just not there. This is a fold.
Yeah, 1-pin not necessarily
again,
safe.
close, not it. Oh, another 4. I don't think you con here. I'm gonna cut the safe 8 for now. The advantage of the 4-4-4-6 is you could actually have an Anko and then a 4-6 Kanchan. Oh, and another Dora. That's not it.
Oh,
Keeps drawing around it, but oh, and the backfire on the 7. Could have been Tempai.
she wants the door anyway.
Haku's a blank. Of course, Haku's always a blank, isn't it?
That's true. Well, you could make it whatever you wanted it to be. Another pair, but
So pair up. Might go Chitoi eventually, but probably out still.
interesting spot, if you draw into Tempai with the 6, so do you con the 4-so? Take your Hiriten Diamond.
Against a non-dealer Riichi,
In a spot where first takes it all, it
I
might
would.
be okay.
Oh, well, that's just Chitoi Ishan. I should go Hatsu, yeah. Just not going to brute force the 5 just yet. Formon thrown back. 7-so, ooh, that's a hit. This is very wide Ishanten now for potentially Riichi, Pinfu, Tanya, Sanju, Dora.
That 2-so doesn't feel great to push, but there's a second Dora. Maybe Chi into Tempo.
You have to Chi this. You don't have a choice, I don't feel.
Cut the 4-so for a 5-so, 6-so wait.
Yeah, you just cut the 4 here. 4 does not feel good, but you have to take this. You got yourself in this situation, you got to bail out. Just take it.
6-so first, and now you on your next draw you can con.
Yeah, anything you can take, you can con. It's the 4-so. I don't care what I'm drawing. I'm not 4.
We're gonna have a chance at Rinshan soon. 8-so.
Well, you've made your choice. I feel you have to con if you've done this. There it is.
New Dora 4-so.
4 Dora. Now Tanya Dora 5. Because remember, there is 1 in the calls. And this is just going to be Tempai. There it is. That's Tanyao Sanshoku Dora on the 6. Of course, I believe the 5's dead, so it'd have to be on the 6.
So this first Riichi really is desperate to win because there's a huge threat on the board. 2 huge threats, honestly. Three-mon will pass. Sakuragawa has infinite Tusos to discard.
Yeah, says, I'm not getting involved in this. Shitoi is not worth it. Not when someone just cons 4 Dora like that. Cons 4 and cheese 1.
8 so are being held around
Running
the board.
out of walls. Running out of wall space, so this hand's likely going to a draw. 2 more chances. Oh, no, there it is! That's Haite, isn't it?
It is.
Reach, Duo, Pinfu, Haite, Dora. No Pinfu, but oof.
1 Ura, 2, 3 Ura. What a hit. Sakuragawa had to survive the pressure of the con flipping 4 Dora for the open hand, but still hits. It's a Hanuman. Or rather a manga with a ton of sticks.
Yeah, not just the Hanuman Sumo, but also the fact you dragged Arikawa down 6,000 with that.
That's right. It is Hanuman because of the Iratu at the end and the Haite Sumo. So it is a monster. Sakuragawa all of a sudden from 4th back into 2nd place, challenging for 1st. She has a dealership to go. And remember,
it has 2 dealerships. It is a distance to go still, but there's time.
Yeah,
the problem is now for Tanaba and Watanabe, you're getting a little scared.
After eating the Oyakaburi, Arisawa still has a huge lead, but anything can happen. We've seen it in that last hand. What are the differences in the individual playoffs that we've seen is an increase in cons, and with more cons, the volatility also increases, so anything can happen.
All right, well, that's a very nice hand there on our left. This is kind of a Pinfu hand, but maybe 5, 6, 7 Sanjiga. You're going to require a lot of work. 4, 5, 6 Sanjiga is probably your best route. It's a big mess, though. This is the best hand, and it's good enough. It's already Tempai. Easy game. Just Riichi Pinfu, so no real value, but it's a dealer Riichi. No, it's not. It's Watanabe's Riichi. So, just 2,000.
Okay, pay is safe, south is safe, and I'm up next with 0 info. 1 pin's come out before. Some blockers for the 9-so. Try the 9-so.
Those are the 9-so, and when you have a Riichi like this, you just look up there, what did I do to deserve this?
Why did I have to be
4th place Riichi?
next
At least
in the
it's not
drawing line?
dealer. When I have a 1-so Anka, you can't just go 1-so because you have 3 of them, but we'll throw the honor anyway.
3-6 Mon, Riichi Pinfu.
Yeah, not a real... Ooh, well, this hand might be good enough to fight, especially go 1 pin, 2 pin. You don't even have to necessarily go 2. If you draw the 3, you're waiting on the 5. If you draw the 5, you're waiting on the 3.
At this
or
point,
can do some shifting.
hand's probably just progressing forward fairly normally, just because it's so hard to decide what to do. What to
Gonna
discard.
call the tune. Says, I don't know what to do with it, so maybe I get a Dora later, see what happens.
The important thing is that the Ipatsu turn was passed. Even if you're forced to deal in now, it will be for less value.
Cheaper. Well, how greedy are you for Toy Toy? Because you have to throw a lot of tiles here.
It's
And
different.
this is the hand that called the Yakwa. You can't just go 1-so, 1-so, 1-so if you don't believe any of it. Nope, going for it.
At least starting with the 6 pin.
Another 6 pin.
It's just going to be hard to push the Mon tiles that are around the
Well,
Dora.
that's just Ishunten. I think you have to keep pushing. Nine Mon gave up the 1 last turn, so no Itsu, no reason to hold the 9. Plus, it's a safe tile. We'll hold the 5 for now.
Does have some connections in hand.
I'm really hoping to draw a Dora, but if you get the 4, you'll probably slam. One pin is about as big a miss you're going to find. 8 so doesn't help. Already thrown 1. This feels like a, do I just get out? Yeah, it just goes with the 8.
Come
9
on.
pins a miss. Still Ishunten. Looks like Sozu. Well, that moves the hand forward, but it's cheap. Can go with the 8 here, but it's right by Dora.
Yeah,
The
she's been,
4's a little bit safer, but it's also just not a great tile.
she's been avoiding the decision about the Monzu for quite a while, and now goes for it.
Bencher said, okay, it's time.
The 4 so doesn't deal into a Dora shape unless it's the 5, 6, 7, 7 diamond, whereas the 8 mon would deal. Mon maybe
Into
slightly
Dora
safer in that
shape,
sense.
potentially. North isn't going to do it, but still a Shunten. 4 so upgrades the hand. And is that a Dora cut? It is. 2 so just saw it and looked like she died a bit inside. We just slammed that thing down.
Yeah, this is gonna
Says,
induce a
I'm
fold.
done.
Tempai jam.
That is Tempai. Waiting on 4-7.
It's so close to being Honitsu as well.
Well, it's all the goals to just be Toy Toy.
Yeah, could see a Pon should the Riichi player discard one of the central tiles. Sakuragawa
Another Dora.
discarding with the
Oh,
first.
just about. We knew it was going to happen eventually, didn't we? Watanabe reached Sumo Pinfu. So just 700, 1300. Early Riichi delivers, but not the big win that you really need at this point. But still, it's only East 4 now. Gets out of last place at minimum.
Yeah, you'll take points. Points you win are points that other players are not. Hamabe now her first turn in the dealer seat.
Four so is Dora. And this looks like a 1, 2, 3 Sanchiku hand. And definitely does now. It's kind of hard to make anything else out of this.
Yeah, it sort of has a plan, but the plan is slow.
Yes, this is a Pinfu hand, maybe a 4, 5, 6, or 5, 6, 7 Sanchiku. 1 pin, not going to do anything. Going to throw back. The plan is pull in the Hatsu, try and figure out something later. 2 pin, now you can use that as an Onko. And the interesting thing is you have a 1, 2, 2, 2 shape. So you'd like the 3. The problem is the hand already has a pair. 7 fills the Kanchan. 9 gives a super distant 79 Sanchiku. Going to hold it for now, but not really happy with it. 2 Mon, it says the Montu shape, but it's just a mess. This is the best hand of the bunch, and it's still not that good. 8 pin, though, helps immensely. Potential Riichi Pinfu Dora hand, but needs a little work still.
Probably has to give up on the Sanchiku ideas.
Eight so pair up. The plan here is clearly Pon Roan.
Ooh. Back to back edge fills. First the 8 pin Kanchan, then the 7 mon Penchan.
Now I'm gonna get thrown back. Doesn't like the Kanchan because the shape in Mons is great with the 2, 4, 4, 6, 6, 7. Tong gonna get thrown. 1 so not even remotely tempted by Sanchiku again. Of course, at this point you've really made your decision having cut 2 of the 1s.
Big opportunity for Sakuragawa. Riichi Pinfu Dora in the cards.
I like the shift here to take the better safe tile. 7 pin, that's actually a really good draw. The hand's just still slow, though.
Ishanten
7 pin, now Ishanten.
Arisawa hoping to
There's
extend her
also
lead.
a 678 Sanshoku if you can connect in upper Sozu. A 4th 2 pin. So I'd really like a 3 there. I guess you pair up the 4, you just con. Still Ishanten for each pin Fudor 1.
Also looking for the Hatsu.
5 connects, now Ishanten. 3, now that's the draw you're looking for.
Like the green dragon.
Ooh, that 6 pin is nasty. Potential Suji trap on the 9 later. Toll not going to do anything here. Chu not going to do anything here. I am very surprised 6-0 was cut.
Yeah, that is a connector, and a good connector too. That, as you mentioned,
Connector for Sanshoku, yeah.
After an 8-pin draw and a 7-so draw, then you have the Sanshoku. But it's maybe with the lead, Arisawa's just preferring the save tile. Do we con? It's time to hunt value.
And, well, the decision, it's either 1 mon or con. You're never cutting the 2 pin right out. So goes with the 1. So we're going to wait for a shape upgrade. Well, this is Ishunten. It's not really Ishunten I'm looking for. And I was going to see a call here. And like the Shimbun here.
9-pin 8-so. 1 9-pin held here.
Oh, the 8-so. Just shuts it down. Says, give me my 1,000. We're done here.
Arisawa managing this lead well. You can't sit back too much and let the other players build their own hands, so... But you also don't want to deal in and lose your lead outright.
And we're in South round now, so Watanabe, this feels like kind of your last chance. If you don't win this hand, you're probably going to go Hanemon in the next few hands. Jun Onko, definitely the best starting hand we've seen from her. Great shapes, not too much value there. Let's have a 3-mon and 7-mon floaters where 5 is Dora, but there you see the 6-6-6-5 in Monzu, so it's going to be very hard to connect to that 7 to be anything useful. This is kind of a slow Pinfu hand. This is similarly a fairly slow Pinfu hand. I feel like just dealer, can you get there?
I'm gonna be eager to see how willing she is to open up for some Kanchan shapes. With the triplet of Red Dragon in hand, it's easy to open, but severely limits your value.
North pair up, but that's the West player. Doesn't do anything. Tuso. Well, that increases your shapes. Could even potentially just go Riichi Chun.
I didn't
3-pin
believe
pair up.
those shapes were good enough for 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku.
1-so. It's sort of the overlap of the 1-mon. Give the 1-2-4 going to a 2-4. Doesn't really do much. Oh, should have believed 1-2 Sanshoku.
Well, you have to be determined. That's an awkward shape to hang around to.
Everything in these hands are pretty awkward.
That is true.
9-pin pair up. Oh, this is... I look at these hands and I'm just disgusted. They're all so frustrating to play. This is, again, the best hand of the bunch.
Ooh, can Nathanael shift?
Yeah, he's going to hold the south for now, though. 7 pins. So this does connect to the 9-9. You already have a pair. You could go 1-so, 3-so. Or if you're a little scared, you can go 2-mon, 4-mon. Instead, cut from the 9 outright.
Perhaps the 9-pin on the previous discard encouraged that, thinking the Shabo was not going to be as strong.
5, well, that increases the shape anyway. Makes it a little bit better. The 9-so is now a 7-9-9. 3-so, oh, well, what about just Honitsu?
That's a plan. That's a value plan.
Ooh, this is a really interesting draw with that 7. You have a 3-5-6-6-6-7. So you'd really like the 4, but you could potentially be Shimbun, where you have 3 of those 6s in your hand. A really ugly shape if it moves that way. Okay, now it's fixed. Not an issue anymore.
Ooh. Cutting the 3-mon.
That's the 3 here. The plan is likely cut a 6 later.
Yeah, surely must be.
So this 4 allows you to maneuver down, but just not giving up on these shapes. 2-pin Onko now. Well, now you go 4-3. I'll get rid of the 3 first. I believe that's Ishunten for Chun Honitsu closed. You see the 3-pin Pon says, I don't really buy this hand. I just want my Tanyadora 1.
Now the issue is Arisawa really needs the 3-so and needs it twice, but Watanabe is aiming for it.
3-mon can now turn this into a 3-4 instead of the Ryankun 4-6-8.
Watanabe holding most of the so tiles.
Two-so pair up. For the 6. That is not Tempai. Well, that was a shift. Now 2 Dora. Oh, well, you're going to have to throw a so tile now because you can't fold this. Still Ishunten, though.
That one can't be called.
Two-mon pair up. Could go pay here. Nope, just folding. There's a Chichoi route back in, but it's planned fold. Well, that's a 4th gone, and we'll go ahead and take it. Ishunten seems fine to me.
Yeah,
Again, you need something to happen at 15-9.
4-mon becomes
Gets another Dora.
Yeah, it just has to. There are Sananko dreams, but those might be a little bit too far away.
That is Tempai now, waiting on 3-so.
Tanabe still fighting 7-so jam after the 8-so comes out.
Eight pins doesn't do much. It doesn't really feel like there's any danger. That's the one suit that feels safe here. Because you have the Dora, the Dora suit, double Dora. Oh, that's just Tempai. I think it's just 3-so here, isn't it? You wait on the 6-9.
Probably deciding whether to reach your Dama.
Honestly, everyone knows your Tempai here. Yeah, I would slam this.
You're going to Tsumo and want to hit the Uda for that, but the 3-so is going to deal in.
The problem is it's going to deal in. 2 Dora. Tanya, Dora 2.
Arisawa extending the lead even further, back up to 45,000 points.
Cannot be stopped. The Khan helping out Arisawa here. Extend this lead, and most importantly, shuts down Watanabe here. So we're now in South 2, and one player is not completely done for, but needs to start Yakuman fishing. Chun pair, maybe some sort of upper 6-8 Sanshogu. This has Chanta written all over it. The problem is the 5-6-8 might be in play regular. This is just a Chitoi. Could go Toitoi. I actually really like Toitoi with this hand. You have so many honor and terminal pairs. But I believe that's already Chitoi Ishan.
If you're a non-dealer here, you see this hand as an opportunity to Tsumo and force the leader to pay the bigger penalty.
Yes, everyone wants to make Arisawa pay here. Speaking of pay, another one of those drawn pairs up. Of course, there's just not really any value at that hand, and I feel that's the issue a lot of these players get is winning is not good enough. You need to win with value now. Because Arisawa has a 20k buffer from everyone. And it's 30k to the other two. Riso pairs up. This also kind of wants to go Chitoi, but says, nope, I appreciate it. See the Chitoi, throw it back.
Yeah, I feel like that's the case for a lot of Yaku. As long as you see that as an option, you can throw it away.
Oh, and holds the pay. That is the classic Chitoi way. One of the two times I will accept a cheat toy. The other is if it's already tateniu. Tateniu cheat toy is funny. One pin, another terminal, may hold on to it, and at the same time, you look at that pawn, you go, why does the Haku come out? It's possible it's Kogashi, but it does look cheat toy. It might even be Chanta Junshan type. Formon's an excellent draw there. 7-so connects here. This is now Ishan 10, but no value whatsoever.
7-pin to connect for Pinshu.
Yeah, I do not like the 7. I would absolutely Peiko fish with this hand, because Riichi Nomi doesn't help you.
Yeah, if that's the plan, maybe one mon.
I'm going to shift around, get rid of the 8. 7-so going to be held for now. There isn't any Peiko upgrade. Speaking of Peiko upgrades, you already cut the 6, so I don't think the 5 helps you a lot. Chun, well, that's not going to help. Still hoping that the last one's in the wall, but we see 2 of them here. So the Chun's actually dead at this point. 2-so upgrades a perfect Ishunten. Well, F4 is now Furry 10, but I don't think you even care that you're Furry 10 in this spot. You need to sumo anyway. Anyone needs to sumo.
Right, and it gives you...
Except Arisawa, which is like, let me get out of dealer turn.
No,
I don't even think... If you get towards row 3, I would just outright fold in this spot.
Yeah, I think she's folding already. Notably, she cut the Dora first turn, and now she's redrawn another Dora, so... I imagine she's just never throwing that. Yeah, 4-pin.
This definitely looks like I'm done.
Okay, so dealership should pass here. The question is, how will
There's
it pass?
Senpai. This is a Furry 10 Riichi Pinfu. 369, but the 6 is in the discards. Now, this is very much thought about looking at the score and saying, I have to make something happen.
She will have more chances later on, but while you're templating...
Oh, just draw the door on Ipatsu. That's always fun.
And you're pretty confident these Sotas will pass. The question is, like, what do you do after that? 4-pin, and try to aim for the Dora?
I think you just get Tenpai and throw the stick out. Oh, and there's another Dora, so that's paired up. 3-mon. Well, now you have to make your decision. How much are you going to fight this? You have another dealer turn. The one person at this table that can stare down Arisawa is Sakuragawa, and says, we will wait until the next hand, and basically bet everything on it.
Yeah, and maybe if we draw out the West pair, we can think about fighting again.
Well, there's another pair, now Chitoi Ishan.
It'd be kind of crazy if Arisawa manages to win here. Is there a route to Sanchoku?
I know
hard.
you see 2, 3, 4, but it's going to take way too much here. You basically need to draw the West.
Yeah.
And says, nope. 5 pins, not it. 2-mon, there's your Tenpai. Are we going to see a Peitanki Riichi?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. This is a
Chitoi.
Riichi Chitoi on pay. We'll just throw the safe tiles for now, because that pod screamed Chitoi.
Dora can't come out. Honor tiles can't come out. The central tiles are safer.
You feel safer just throwing a red of 3 or 5 or 6. But there are 2 Riichis on board. Of course, the other players do not know it is a Furiten Riichi. And a Chitoi.
2 hands that are actually pretty easy to push against, generally speaking.
I'm trying to see if there's a pay left, because it might still be in the wall at this point.
Yeah, I only see the 2, and I don't see any pay discarded.
5 so close, but that's not it. Looks very likely we're going to get to the draw here.
We will.
Yeah, 2 players Tempai. And there it is. And yeah, that's Peitanki, all right. And that's a Purtin Riichi, all right. And Arisawa's like, that's actually really fine. And Sakuragawa goes, I really should have pushed, shouldn't I?
Yeah, the facial expressions say it all. But now we head to South 3. 2 Riichi 6 and Honba Sakuragawa, our dealer.
Sakuragawa has to win this hand, realistically, to have a shot. Again, it's win and in. Starts off with those single Yakuai. If you can pair either of them up, you're good. But I don't see them pairing up. Maybe Honitsu and Pinzu? Bleh.
Such a rough hand.
That's the God, please give me a good hand. You stare down. Well, that was a mistake. And this hand has a Chun and a Pei pair, so 2 Yakuhai, probably the best hand of the bunch. The person who doesn't need it at all.
No, you open up, oh no, I have this Dora. You pair up the Dora. I saw.
It's okay, we'll just take it. We're good.
This could be Honitsu on top of things if she really wants it.
You could, but at the same time, just has no reason here. Plus, there's 2 Dora. You already have 1 Yakuhai. You're guaranteed to get another one with how this hand shape is. Because you can't go Chito anymore now that you've opened. So it's going to have to be Chun or Hatsu. Or now you're like, maybe I should have got Chito. Oh, well.
Are we going to see the classic 1 pon, 5 pairs situation?
It does feel that way.
This is a bit of an opportunity. If someone can find a Tempai quickly, Arisawa is open, so she has fewer folding options.
South. It's a pretty good safe tile here. We'll cut the 6. And his hand is just, will the Hatsu come out? It is Dora. This is Tanaba, who really needs the value. I just throw the 5 back. 3 so. I don't understand this play at all.
To me, it screams, I'm going to use the Dora no matter what.
Yeah, it likes to keep the 5-5-6 shape, but I feel if you're going to do that, just cut the 5. If you want to get really greedy, cut the 6 and say it's Chitoi. 4, now you have the 3-4-5 shape and an Ipeiko with the 7-7-8-9-9. 2 pins going to be a miss. 9 pin. This is getting close to Honitsu or even Shinitsu.
It is Chinitsu, though the Dora comes out. It's like Watanabe has similar ideas with the Manzu.
That's another pin tile.
And another Mon tile.
Hands are getting a little scary. East isn't going to help. That's a So tile, so that's a miss. At the same time, you're also wondering, why hasn't Hatsu come out yet? Someone has it paired up.
Basically, all pin draws are good for Sakuragawa right now. And not just good, very good in terms of the shapes.
There's your Ipeiko. This is technically Ryan Peiko Tempai.
But not good enough. 5 pin, 5 pin.
4 pin. Let's see, is this? I don't think this is Tempai.
No, but it's also has thoughts of Chitoi, but surely Hatsu comes out just for value reasons.
Yeah, I think you just have to throw the Dora here. There it goes. There goes the pole. I don't even have to look at it to know that's happening.
Yakuhai, Dora 3.
Give me that. And of course, the other part of this is not quite Churin either. You hear this 5 right now.
Yeah, you have no choice but to play
Realizes it. You just have to throw it right now.
So yeah, Sakigiri, even if it's too late, really, to do that.
That's not it. That's a Manzu tile. Gets rid of the north here. There's Manzu. That has to be Tempai.
It is. I believe it's 2-5.
1-4 or 2-5.
Close to Chinitsu.
Shinitsui Peiko.
Oh, 1-4, sorry. I almost
9 shows a miss. You know the so tiles are pretty safe here. Two so passes, of course. Ooh.
so
Looks like a so tile, but there was a hesitation there.
That's a Montile, but it's a safe one.
And says, nope, I'm done. I'm not doing this. 6 pin.
Pulp. Tempai.
We'll call it down. This is your Tempai. 2 5 pin.
It's Mongon Tempai. Dealer's 12K.
And we have the Chinitsui Peiko as well, which is also 12K.
On Sumo, that will be a Baimon. Or Watanabe in the Banzu. Ooh.
Gets the 6.
How
So
creative.
there are Itsu routes here, but it's such a mess. I believe the 3-mon is the best discard here for 147.
Yeah, 4-mon will
But
give
everything's really messy.
3, 6, 9. Oh, just cutting the 1.
It's the 1. Oh, there's Tempai. Remember, this hand is called the Dora Yakuhai.
Thinking about maybe a Chi here? Can we really afford to fight?
No, I don't think so. And yeah, thinks better of it and says, no, this isn't it.
That will be...
There's the 9. There's your Chinitsu. Doesn't get the Peiko, but doesn't matter anymore. And that's very much guys, I need change.
Yeah, maybe just checking to make sure there was nothing extra in the hand, but no Ipeiko, so 6 Han for the Chinitsu.
No, it didn't
Maybe
even
Pinfu as
with
well.
Ipeiko, it'd be 7. Yeah, that's what you're looking for. You can get Pinfu and Ipeiko, you get it to 8, but I don't think it was there.
Okay, and that...
And is a direct hit off Arisawa, though. So this makes this game very close. Anyone can win now. That is the one thing Arisawa could not do.
Honestly, this is truly anyone's game at this point, because Tanabe, even in last place, has the last dealership, so she can play as long as she can. She will play as long as she can, and for the other two players, Watanabe and Sakuragawa, they will be building hands that can surpass Arisawa. If the hand does not have enough value to pass Arisawa, they will not try to win it. Therefore, Tanabe might have be afforded some freedom to build her own hands.
Much less an issue for Watanabe, who doesn't need that many points. This is just a 3,000 gap, 2,900, so 3 Han's good enough no matter how you get it. Well, it's not no matter what, because you could Chitoi Dora Dava, and that's not good enough. But Chitoi, let's see. No, because you have to have 2. A Sumo Chitoi would be enough.
Yeah, there's some interesting questions, like, would you take a Riichi no Good Weight, where if you Sumo, you need to hit Ura to overtake?
Depends on what the rest of the hand is. We'll take a look at these. This is a Pinfu, maybe a Peiko. Interesting how long you're going to hold this 5, 6, 6, 7. Nielsen cuts the 9, 7 from it. The 4 here connects to the 5, but there's just not much value here. You want to cut one of these Penshon. We'll start with the 9. Use the 8 mod as a pair, but you have the 1, 2, and 8, 9 pin, both of which are terrible. 9 so connects, creates a Penshon. Now that's a better draw, a 7 mon. But Watanabe there is, again, needs the 3,000.
Big pickup for Arisawa as well, the 7 pin. Filling the Penchon. I expect we're going to be playing a little bit more slowly in this final hand because, well, I guess it might not be the final hand, but South 4? There's so much at stake and so many different scenarios you have to compute.
It's important because without the Homba, it makes it even closer. So you have to get all those calcs exactly right. Thinking the 700, 1300 sumo would still be enough for Watanabe.
Yeah, Sakuragawa, considering if she needs the Dora in order to surpass, or if she can play for some type of Riichi Pinfu Sanshoku, or if you get the cheap side of the Sanshoku, is that still worth taking for Ura chances, so on and so forth.
Goes the one so says, I want the Dora. Plan is probably Sanshoku Dora Tonki. A Mangan is not enough unless it is a sumo or a direct hit. 8-pin doesn't do much immediately, but does give an Ipeco route with the 9887. The problem is 2 of the other 9s are out, so the 8 doesn't do much. Maybe a Tanyao shift later, potentially. 1-mon isn't going to do anything.
All 4 2-mon, but that's not going to con this time. She
throws it back. Oh, I'd never throw that back. I want to get rid of the 8 because I just don't like it, and if we have our 2s, I want a con.
I guess Arisa was the one player that doesn't want to create value.
Yes.
Well, you came back to a huge moment. Final game, South 4. Winner takes it all. Winner advances.
Yeah, Arisawa does not want to help anyone else at the table. 8-pin isn't going to help. You've already cut the 9. So many of your quote-unquote upgrades just Furitan. And Arisa says, you know, I'm just going Tanya. It's fine. Ishanten needs 3 6-mon and 6-0.
Can the Tanya end it all? East for Tanabe?
You'll see the East call says, this hand isn't budging, so we're going to try and make something happen. Still a distance away. The plan is Dora Tonki, or just pair it up yourself.
Dora.
There goes the first Dora. Gets her to the 7, takes the safe Shaw as a backup. 8-mon doesn't do anything immediately. Going to get thrown back. But moves the dealer handle a little closer. Again, the plan is very clearly that Chun Tonki.
Watanabe has shown she already cannot use the Dora. Arisawa as well opened up and didn't call the Dora, so she doesn't have any, nor can she use it. So that's a good plan.
The part is that means it's probably in the wall at this point. Oh, well. Now you can even just consider throwing the Dora, but I'd throw the South. Because you get that Dora pair up, you're just shumping. 7, ooh, there's your Ipeco route. The problem is you have an overlap on the 5-zo. That's actually a terrible draw. I want to cut 4-so.
Yeah, it goes to the 3.
Same idea with the 3.
The funny thing is, if you got 6-7-mon, you can draw the 5-mon and have this insane double, like quadruple Shabo weight. 3-so, 4-so, 6-so, 7-so. With Ipeco guaranteed.
Now, the 8-so does not help this hand, but it could potentially be kept around for Tempai payments if you want to cut the Shaw here. And that is the reason the 8 is held.
It feels like there's so much tension here.
That's a Pinzu draw. Ooh, well, I think you have to throw the Chun. It's time. You have too many Sanshoku Pinfu, Pinfu routes. You have Ipeco routes. You have Tanya. You don't need the Dora. It's time to throw. You must get Tempai, because you know Tanaba will find some way. Or at least you have to assume. I would not even consider this. I feel this just has to be Chun. If you deal in, you don't even care. The score doesn't matter here. There's too much value in this hand.
Yeah, 6-so might be her other thought here, but no, yeah, just throws the Chun out.
Yeah, that's do I have to, and thinks about it, and eventually gets there. And dealers, okay, my Chun's useless. 6, well, that is not Tempai.
Perfect Ishan time. So
that is Tempai, but it's not the ideal one. Reach Sumo, Tanya, you need an Ura. But you can Riichi this.
Dama 6-pin?
It is a 3-sided. You can also Dama. Again, especially if you think Tanaba is Tempai.
Here the
does
4...
Dama. You cannot take a win here. It will be a Chi down for Tempai. I imagine you just wait on the Okay, thinks the 8's a little more dangerous, so we'll just go ahead and wait on the 8 instead of the 9.
Which is problematic for Arisawa. Fremon Ipeko chance.
Fremon.
Each simultaneous
Doesn't
Ipeko would
take
do it.
Yeah, that would do. Oh no! I was wondering on that 9, punished immediately. And there's Tempai.
And this will be enough. Riichi Pinfu Tanyao.
This is good enough.
And Arisawa cannot play this, cannot deal in. First and foremost, she cannot deal in. If it goes...
And, okay, so this is an interesting position because Watanabe will only overtake if no one else is Tempai.
Right. But Tanabe will never give up Tempai here.
If Arisawa is the only one that is not Tempai, then Watanabe will overtake, but there will be another hand.
So I think it's totally fine to...
It is fine to fold. I would be perfectly fine folding here.
If she feels like her best chance, though, is winning...
do you win this hand?
Yeah. I think if she was Tempai, it might be worth...
Then I think you just slam. You just fight. I don't care.
But Ishanten...
But Ishanten with a bad shape in here, I'm looking for an escape hatch.
The other question is, does she have an escape hatch? Like...
Yeah, that's the long pause here.
If you look at the pond, there's pin tiles and so tiles, but... Formon Jam.
Just shoves.
That would have been the Ipeko.
You have to Riichi now. You have to chase this down.
If Sakuragawa had
I don't think there's any reason to Dama here. This is a Riichi.
There's an extra stick now, so that changes the math. But yeah, if Sakuragawa had taken the Ipeko...
No, breaks Tempai completely.
Oh,
another backfire! That is called selecting the incorrect Tonki. Forso, well, you cleared the 4 last time. You can go 4-5 Mon if you really want, but it's going to be really hard to get Tempai. The push play is obviously 8 so, but yeah, it goes with the safer 4. That's very much a make our decision later. 6 pin, that's Tempai for Riichi Pinfu Tanyao.
Sumo 65 exchange plus the stick 75. These are just short. We need an Uda or Ipatsu or something along those lines.
Ipatsu or Haite or Hote. Again, throwing the extra 1,006 doesn't hurt you. I feel there's no downside to Riichi here.
Yeah, are you willing to gamble on an Uda? She is. Got a Dama.
No, she's not. She just throws the tile. Not going to throw the stick in. Cannot take a win.
Yeah, 3,900 direct is enough. 78 plus the stick is 8,800.
4 doesn't do anything. You can throw the 3 and keep Tempai if you want, since you don't care about the shape.
If we're not also safe.
4 is safe, though, so you just throw the 4 normally here. You have to keep Tempai, though. It's a matter of which one do you want. And I think since the 4 mon is cleared, you just throw it. This also may be a can I Riichi now. And that's the play. It's okay. We're going for a Haite draw. Well, got to throw the 8. Now still waiting on that 8 Sotanki.
Arisawa. Safe
West
tile.
is a safe tile.
Ipatsumo misses.
Pray and nope. Go for a flashy Ipatsumo Haite. And we will see 3 players Tempai.
That's clever. No Uda required if you're going to win on Ipatsu. And the situation
I believe that's a new leader now. It is. Watanabe will overtake by 100 points, but that doesn't matter because you have to win the hand to win anyway. Arisawa needs anything. Watanabe needs anything. Sakuragawa needs 3 Hanas enough. And Tanaba just needs to win anything as well. So this is where it might kind of devolve into just aggressive calling. Kind of a Pinfu hand, but has that Shaw pair to get rid of at some point. This looks like a Riichi Nomi hand. This is similarly a fairly slow pair-based hand. And this is a Pinfu, probably the best of the bunch. 2 completed shapes in a pair.
Pairs
Force
for
is a
dealer.
great draw. Connects to the 3, 3, 4, 5 now. 6 pin is a floater, is an upgrade, but that's because the rest of the hand's a mess. 9 mon isn't going to do anything as a floater, so throw it back. 6 pin, another pair. Could end up going Chitoy with this. 2 pin, still has the 5. We'll hold both of them for now. 5 connects to the 6 nicely, but a long way to go. 4 pin, ugh. Going to hold it for now, but everything's a bit of a mess. Ooh, there's an Ipeco upgrade. 3, 3, 4, 4, 5.
Very promising.
Cut the 9 last turn, draws the 8, but it's not even a terrible draw. The plan's probably Chitoy there.
Which is
1, 1, 2, 2. You want to go Tanya, so he just throws the 1 back.
that's helpful.
It's a real draw.
Watanabe,
but
the
you're
exact
still trying to
hand.
figure out the value.
Yeah, the value doesn't even necessarily matter so much as just getting another dealer repeat.
You'd also like the 2 sticks. It does make your job a little easier. Haku pair up. Well, now you just go. The problem is this is Sakuragawa who can't really call here.
Maybe
That
that's
should just be Tuso. No, throws it back.
not wanting to gamble on winning a Hakushabo on the expensive side.
Well, let me see where one of those Haku is. It's locked in that Chitoy hand. And now you see Haku Haku, and you go, okay, I guess it's Riichi Pinfu Tanya. This is now Ishunten, possible Sananko. Doesn't take it. Wants this 9-so Dora floater. I wouldn't even thought about that one.
Sananko is pretty big value too. But maybe
Well, the problem is it's a 9-so floating Dora, so unless it's just Chitoy, it's really hard to use.
and maybe not planning to take the Sananko route upon finding Tenpai anyway.
Well, now you just go Honitsu, I guess. And 9-so could have been out anyway. And I'd really like to have that 3-pin back. Another Dora. That is now Ishunten.
Watanabe doesn't really need the value of the door, it just wants any Tenpai.
South isn't going to help.
West.
Shaw Anko. And that would have been your Sun Anko Tenpai. This is still Tenpai, but it's Riichi Nomi.
Oh,
And yeah, just goes for it all. And that is Ishunten as well, an upgrade, at least in the shape. So, cuts the Dora. Doesn't like the 6-9 potential.
Watanabe sees her chance at taking first in one hand.
7-pin. Now an Anko. This is Ishunten.
Reach Simultánea
Probably
will do
cut
it.
the 9-pin. It doesn't do anything for you. 6. Well, that's a weight upgrade. You are dealer. You could slam that one if you really want, but doesn't take it.
Yeah, I think after cutting the 3-pin, that weight wasn't available anymore.
Just wants the Ishunten for the closed Honitsu, but that 3-pin would be so nice to have back. 6-so gets thrown. 9-so. So that's actually a decent tile to sit around if you just want to play. Oh, well, this is still Ishunten. Would be Tenpai if you still had the 3.
A lot more flexible now.
That is an upgrade as well, but the plan was Chitoy. The 4, though, makes you say, maybe I don't go Chitoy.
Yeah.
At the same time, you can't cut 3 mon. Kind of have to make your decision right here. Are you going for it? You can kind of head with 6-pin, but it feels bad.
Chitoy.
Yeah, just keeping the Chitoy, saying it's Ishunten, we just have to take it. We'll hold the 5 here, possibly Peiko upgrade. 4-so's a blank. Haku's a blank. Again, always is. Chune's not going to help. Also clears the Chune here.
Oh.
There's Tenpai. That is absolutely a slam. Riichi, Tanyao, Ipeiko. Sumo would be enough right by itself.
Yeah, doesn't even need Ipeco.
On Sumo, it's enough. On Roan, I believe you do need the Ipeco side.
Yes, because you can't pass both players.
And Watanabe looks to be getting out of here.
Tempai. Oh,
you have
goodness.
to fight this.
Yeah, you have to.
Doesn't matter. You have to go. This is a which one do you want to suck it up and throw?
I imagine 6-pin? Or maybe you bank on the fact that at least the blockers, the 6-pin comes out more easily. I can't see the other
Now, there's never a reason to reach you this. This has to be, you have to shove this, I feel, and you have to take a Dama here. And get those hands away from that one. You have to shove the Pinzu here, don't you? He clearly hates these draws.
6-pin.
That's very much, okay, we got there.
And?
Says, wait, that's Tempai. I guess I just take this then. This will be a pawn, probably cut the 8 for Tempai on 2-5.
Yeah, this isn't the value Hanada was looking for, but...
Yes, you have to take Tempai here, though, and it has to be the 8. This is not extra foo, unless you sumo. It's a 2 and an 8, but it doesn't hit that 12 threshold.
Notably, if Watanabe finds Tempai in the Sozu and discards the 5-pin, it will be double Roan, but Arisawa will take priority. Oh, 5-pin!
Sumo! And that is the extra foo, so that's 13 all, plus 3 Riichi sticks, plus 1 home ball.
We're not done yet. Can Tanabe make the climb all the way back? And the math changes.
200 will drastically change the gap here. I believe still third, but it's super close. And it is Sakuragawa now in 4th place, but still within Mongon range.
Right. All those Riichi sticks are gone, so there isn't the free pass into the lead anymore. She'll have to build a hand that has enough value. 2 Homba now. 4 and 20 Tsumo should do it still.
Just has to win. Arisawa just has to win. Watanabe just has to win. It's Sakuragawa who has to build something here. Dora's 2-pin. And that is not the hand you want when you just need something fast. There are a couple Rionman and a Kanchan, but that's not good.
I love the way she sorts
And you can see immediately
this.
pulls out the Kokushi, tells you, okay, is this really the fastest? And says it's Honetsu. I don't hate this 8-so cut. But instead we're going to see a pawn says, this is Haku. I don't need to worry about this. Get me out of here. I want to go to the finals. Six-pin extends this to Ryoncon, but the plan is the Hatsu pair. And the problem is these Yakuhai are getting squeezed by the Honetsu hand for now. 6-pin connects to the 5s with hand a little bit forward. There is a possible Itsu route here. Four-pin pairs up there, but you need the Dora.
Might need to be a flush.
Yeah, that's a problem. Sakuragawa can't immediately just call this down for anything, unlike everyone else at this table. Forso, well, that completes a 2-3-4 in Sozu. Should probably be the South, maybe the 7-mon. Goes with the 7. 2-pin has made this decision it's Honetsu, so might as well keep going. Throws the Dora. It feels bad when you have the 3. The 1-2, you throw the 2 and draw the 3. Because that would have been one of your Han right there. Oh, and that pawn is just a tragedy. South is going to do anything, so that gets thrown. 6-pin, Ishanten for Sonanko potential. This has to be the South, doesn't it?
If she can Riichi Hatsu Dora...
That's not enough on a road. You'd have to sumo. And if you have to sumo, I'd just take the Sonanko route. But if you say draw 3-pin, you have some options. The hand moves Not to Ishunten, still headless. Because the head is the Yakuhai. Formon now in Anko, and now we might start seeing some of these honors come out.
Yeah, this is where it gets important. A couple players are looking for the honor tiles.
1, 2, 3, 4 is a nice grouping. Does not want to throw this east yet. That is not the right suit. But it is the right suit here, but instead stays closed and draws another one, but still a long way to go. And we've seen some of these distant flushes just get really close, but one did see one get there.
Chitoi? Chitoi
Going
door
to
2
move
would
it
do
that
it.
way.
Sakuragawa has an alternate path now. Ishunten.
Ishunten now needs the Haku still, and then either Tone or 1-4 so.
Ishunten for
7
Aisawa as well for
shape now.
Pifu.
Ishunten. 9 so's a miss. 8 so's a miss.
That's
6
technically
so is
Tenpai.
Tenpai, but no Yaku. At least I don't think it was a Yaku. I don't think it was a 7, 8, 9 call. And just calls, going for the Honitsu. Tone pair up. Two Mon isn't going to help. 9 Mon isn't going to help. That, however, will. A 4th 4 Mon. That's actually really helpful for this hand.
Haku.
But there's Tenpai. 1-4 so to end the game. Watanabe could end it any time now.
Slightly stronger Ishunten.
You cut the 9 so here. Oh, and you know what? That 4 so is going to count eventually, isn't it?
You're right.
This has to be the Hatsu or maybe the 1 Mon, but I'd go Hatsu. Goes 1 Mon first.
Sakuragawa doesn't know it, but she
That's
needs to
not
not
it.
make progress. Pon?
Goes it and takes it here as his not enough, but could also go Toy Toy. And that feels like, and there's the call, and there's the 4! That's the end of the game. Watanabe advances. No 30K minimum here. That is enough.
Oh, absolutely thrilling game. It was the Chinitsu, the Monza Chinitsu direct from Arisawa that allowed her to compete, to come close. A couple tight hands that went to Ryukyoku and a Tanabe Tsumo. And in the end, Watanabe closes it out with the one-han hand. A magical
and
comeback.
39 points is enough to lock up the advance. Arisawa and Sek with 7.3. Tanaba minus 15.4. Sakuragawa couldn't get it together. And they take that minus 30.9. Ooh, those are so intense when you have 3 people just don't care. They just need to win anything. And Sakuragawa is in a really rough position because you have to actually make something out of that. But congratulations to Watanabe, who will continue.
A perfect game to close us out for the evening. What a finish. Our finalists are determined.
Whew. I think we've kind of gone over most of the game. The Dama Chinitsu, of course, is the big play of the game. Switches to the weight, gets the direct hit on the 9 Mon, and that drags the game closer. And here we see the end result is Arisawa getting second place, and Watanabe, they're in 4th, coming in with the win, gets enough to jump into 1st in this group, and that will be enough to advance.
A fantastic result for her, advances to the final rounds as we hit the conclusion of our individual playoffs to enter the final rounds. It's been 2 days of incredibly intense action for us. They've been playing all these games on the same day, so even more exhausting for them. I imagine that those players are definitely going to go get some rest. And we'll look at the totals, the final collection of players advancing. The top 7 were the top performers of the regular season. Unashiro, Tomi, Uotani, Kojo, Maruyama, Okubo, and Takashima all advancing there due to their prowess in the regular season. Every single round of the playoffs, 3 new players advanced for the first 3 rounds. Hinata, Kitahara, Sugawara in Game 1. Fuji, Tojo, Yamawaki in Game 2. Suzuki, Seto, Nagata in Game 3. And then we advanced to the elimination phase where only 2 promote and 2 are eliminated. Negishi, Hanikae advancing in Game number 4. Izumi and Sugano advancing in Game number 5. And finally, in the very last game, it was Watanabe taking the winner takes all, getting that final spot into the playoffs. 3 more spots will be determined from the Orb League, the other division of the Sankei Shimbun Cup, and we will be broadcasting the final matches soon. I think we take a week off before that happens.
Yeah, classic soon TM.
I do have...
we will bring those when we get the info on them, but congratulations to everyone who has advanced. As mentioned, 21's not really the number you'd expect, but we have 3 other qualifiers we will get to.
And the finals are going to be held April 3rd and 4th, so 2 weeks into the future, we will see those final games. As mentioned, the other 3 players from the Orb League, which we do not have coverage of, will join them. So I can't wait to see who the new players are that will be participating and getting some camera time on the stream. But that is it for the individual playoffs, our coverage of the individual playoffs. Look forward to April 3rd and 4th for the finals. And before then, we do have one more special broadcast. And that, of course, is the World Riichi League finals, which are happening both the European finals and the US finals as well. 9 o'clock UTC time for the European finals. I believe Chiral will be running the broadcast there, of course, in Europe himself. And we will be running the broadcasts for both on this very stream. I think Harrison will be broadcasting the US finals here as well. So there will be a lot of action. There's a lot at stake for these games as well. This is seats directly into the World Riichi Championship, so you will not want to miss it. Make sure to tune in Sunday morning.
Yeah, they start off early, especially if you're out there on the West Coast, but 9 a.m. UTC, that I might end up missing some of those. That's a little too early.
Well,
regardless, though, we will have it here, so people in better time zones than me can definitely check it out.
Thanks.
So with that, I think we go ahead and wrap things up here. And so for Chiral, Nathanael, Jenn, Harrison, this is Corak of the Sankei Shimbun Cup broadcasting team. Hope to see you on Sunday for the WRL finals.